Island on the Craft Growers Network, and we're doing another episode of Wow, Women of Weed, with our host, Sarah Coya, and our special guest, Stephanie Sanchez from Costa Rica. I'm
Mhm.
particularly excited about this show because I have a huge interest in what's going on in cannabis around the world. Now, let me ask you a question, guys. Are you able to see us on YouTube? Oh, here we go. It took a second
Yeah.
for it to open up for me.
Mhm.
I'm really interested in cannabis around the world. It's really easy for us to discuss cannabis in the US, but we haven't had an opportunity to interview guests that were more international. Besides, we did an episode with Vince and Weed from Germany, which was really great. Any of you guys that haven't checked that out, you can find it on craftgrowersnetwork.com in our feed of videos that we made. But yeah, we're super excited to talk with Stephanie about, what the state of cannabis is in Costa Rica. And with that, I'm gonna turn it over to our host. Oh, before I do anything else, Reba, Grateful Cultivator, was sick today. She had just flown home from the East Coast where, I wouldn't say it normally, but she already did that. She had to go to a funeral. Her brother passed. And then she came home and she got sick. So she's so upset that she couldn't join today because she was really excited to talk with Stephanie. But,
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons why we have two great hosts
Mhm.
and leaving you in capable hands of Sarah Koya. And so take it away.
All right. Yeah, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're a
Thank
busy
you, guys.
businesswoman down there. Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you have your cannabis company there, Pure Vita, Cannabis Pure Vita. How did you end up uh, with this company? Did you start it in Costa Rica? Are you from there? Just
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your story, your
Okay.
beginning.
First of all, thank you guys for this collab. It's amazing to share with you guys. Well, I'm Costa Rican. I'm an attorney here in my country. I'm not Republic, but um, I never thought, oh, very nice. I never thought that I will start working in this path until I hear that the president, the current president, he started to open the market of legalization in medicinal cannabis here. And I support some commissions in the Bar Association here in Costa Rica. So I hear that they will open a new law practice in medicinal cannabis. So they was
Oh,
looking for people to help in the Bar Association Commission to understand the the new bylaws and everything, made interpretations, because in the Bar Association, in these commissions, we made this kind of juridic opinions and all that kind of stuff. So it's in our hands to help the institutionality of the governments to understand how it works, the regulations and everything. So in this matter, presently is super new, but until now we start to be to get more use because before in 2022 it's when it was established, the first regulation,
okay.
10,113 law that regulates and open the markets to medicinal cannabis here in Costa Rica. It was approved for the president, the previous administration, but the President Chavez, one of the first mandates that he wanted when he became president, um, it was open the market to recreational cannabis. But
Oh,
because he didn't have all enough support in the government, in this moment we have more part of Congress in the left side than the right side. Here
Mm.
it works different, like in the state. The conservatives here are the liberals, and the liberals are the conservatives. It's like backwards.
Huh.
But so the president Chavez want to open the market because he come from the World Bank. He work in like 100 countries all around the world as
Mm.
a director in the World Bank. So he understood that if United States is opening these markets, and usually when Cummins is coming after the recreational. So
Mm-hmm.
he was in the previously administration as a minister of taxation, and
Mm-hmm.
he understood that there is a really good
Money.
income that can come to the
Yeah.
country with taxation. So they opened the door, but the Congress didn't want to support it. So
Mm.
uh, to start working in the bylaws that they need to understand the market. So it's when Tom, Green Mountain Project, and another parts of the chain here, we start to make connections together because first of all, um, understand the law is one thing, but understand the market in the background is another thing. And for
Yeah.
us here in Costa Rica, we don't have that background as you guys have. So we start to talk about partners in the states to come over, and then we establish some relationships with some others that they was already here. We start to make like kind of group of works to help the authorities to understand the bylaws and what they can do and what it does the international market, because it's not
Wow.
something that we need to invent. It's something that is already established. So
Right.
we just need to
Yeah.
follow up what you guys did, what Canada did, how they opened the market.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to invent too many things. It's just to bring and have the correct people around, um, where they can advise the government. So it's what we established. So it's when Tom McCullen, the CEO of Green Mountain Project and Cana
Mm-hmm.
Pura Vida, start with us because I'm the vice president of Friendly Hand. It's one association that we support patients, and as well not just the law projects. We already have a cannabis license for growing. So we work all together. So
Mm.
in that time, we was pushing and pushing because can you believe it, guys, that they was trying to make a regulation about cannabis, putting out the flower of the regulations. They didn't want to deal with the raw flower. They just say like, oh, we're
Wow.
gonna create this market, but at the end we don't want to deal with the flowering. So they was trying
Wow.
to just focus in like in the pharmaceutical way. So we was
Yeah.
pushing and pushing like, no, the best way
Right.
to improve the benefits of the plan is the raw plan, even in the too
Yeah.
many cases. So we start to bring in all the science in behind to them understand that this is not something that they just can bring into the table and just because they don't like the way they can skip it. It's there is some clues. So it's what we brought to the table, and then it came the bylaw last year in the June 22nd of 2025. It opened the bylaw with all the regulations to implement between all the supply chains interventors, since the people that grow it, the people that bring the product to the country, the importation, the manufacturing, that it's going to be like the franchise zone that it's going
Mm.
to impulse the exportation, and the other part that is the pharmacies change that they're going to work uh, for as a sellers of the product. So all these three different kind of license intervene with the last seller that is going to be the pharmacist. So it's all the protocols, how it's going to be the tag of the product, how many raw product can carry any patient on public places, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like give all the follow up to the pharmacies to how they can open and how is the import of the product. So since that moment, any pharmacy here in Costa Rica that want to sell the product can become one, but need
Wow.
to follow up through another like section to comply with these new bylaws that define all the structures. And what we are now pushing out um, as a kind of pura vida, it's to promote the GMP standards, because can you
Mm.
imagine, guys, that we are super new, but we cannot ignore what is happening out of borders. So, what is
Huh.
most important always is to attend the patient's needs. So, for that,
Mm-hmm.
we need to give them a really good product, like GMP
Sure.
certified products. But they didn't knew what it was that.
Mm.
So, we are
Yeah.
teaching them. Uh, about the international standards, not just for compliant, it's because it's super important for the patients. We are just focusing on the most important, that is the patients. Um, but not just that, it's been very difficult open this market because we still living in a third world country where the people have a kind of closed mind in this kind of topics.
Yeah.
So even that is medicinal, um, even some institutions they satanize the topic, even
Mm.
for permits. They just say
Yeah.
no sometimes
Wow.
just because for grow it, even that the regulations open the market, and we need to come in with argues
Mm-hmm.
because the most of the institutions, they don't have the communication between them to
Mm-hmm.
to refresh the new, or set it up the
Right.
new regulations with the past, or the old regulations. That, for example, with the police, always here in Costa Rica, that even the cannabis, the auto consume never was criminalized. They
Yeah.
always make you like a ticket, a police ticket, and they pursue you in
Huh.
the courts, even that is not a crime, just
Right.
because you have on your hands cannabis that they don't know is if it's legal or illegal, or because they don't know what you're gonna do with that, if you're gonna sell it or smoke it, they
Right.
presume that you're gonna sell it. So they pursue you just for having in your hands, and they don't recognize, and they don't understand, and they didn't make this properly set it up to understand what is the difference when this person having evidence that it's for selling the product illegally, or this person that is a patient for auto consuming, just because he
Wow.
have to use his right of health to use this kind of different prescriptions. But they don't know that this is allowed now here in Costa Rica. So it's why we had a torture start of the year,
Yeah.
because the CEO of the company got arrested illegally for the authorities to use
Wow.
his right to auto consume and use the medicine that is now regulated since 4 years ago in the country. But not
Wow.
either the police, either the attorneys of the police, or the prosecute and the judges of the Supreme Court, they didn't knew about the existence of these new
Wow.
laws. So they put him in jail illegally. And thank God, like 1.5 week ago, we we skipped the process, because we got the sentence, and the judge said what I was saying since the beginning. This is not a crime, because it's a
Yeah.
um, um, it's an industry already regulated. Maybe not too many of you guys are learning or refreshing your knowledge in the new regulations, but this is
Right.
exists. This exists, and it was proven. And you have to be realizing that since now to no to short time, uh, there's going to be pharmacy opening. It's going to be importing license, bringing product to the country. The people going to start to have it in their hands.
Yeah.
And you cannot put patients in jail just because your lack of knowledge.
Right.
So it's when we realize that if they did this to someone that have all the knowledge, that was with his attorney, that promote and help with the regulations and know what is the rights of the patients, and they make that injustice, we are like, oh my gosh, we need to do something asap with the authorities, because this cannot be possible. Not just the government, we as a entrepreneurships, we are investing so much money and time in this
Right.
business. So to bring medical tourism, because Costa Rica, it's one of the highest place for medical tourism. And now we
Mm.
open the doors for medical tourism in medicinal cannabis as well. Not too many countries in the world are doing this. So we need to protect immediately the patients. So it's why we are uh, like in a a promotion campaign with the authorities to advise them and teach them about these new regulations and how they have to protect the patients instead to criminalize them. So now we are with all of these crazy things
Wow.
happening, but at the same time, super happy because even that this happened, we are with the big opening here in Costa Rica for the first pharmacy, cannabis pharmacy here in San Jose next month. So we are on the way,
Wow.
happening.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Happening to many things at the same time, but we still fighting for the movement.
Hey,
Right.
that that's a lot to unpack. I have some questions. I didn't want to
Yeah,
interrupt
for
you,
sure.
but
Uh-huh.
so a couple of questions is the first one is you used the term pharmacy a few times. I want to know, is a pharmacy like a cannabis dispensary, or is it an actual pharmacy that also, sells other drugs?
Good question. Okay. First of all, the regular pharmacy can become a cannabis pharmacy. They just need to comply with an extra
I
step
see.
to
Mm-hmm.
become. So even the traditional pharmacy can sell cannabis product, but we just want to focus in cannabis. In cannabis. So our pharmacy chain, we're gonna launch and open at least 15 in the next year in all Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
That is the purpose, and all of them will be focused just in cannabis. We don't gonna have just the pharmacy. We call it kind of pura vida clinics, because on spot we're gonna have doctors attending people for prescribing in the moment, and
Recommendations.
then at the same time we're gonna give them the opportunity in the pharmacy to buy the product with all the due process and requirement, everything legally with the best highest standards as the GMP.
That's
and
great.
and yeah, it's something very excited that um we are very excited. And there's gonna be a membership club that
Mm-hmm.
we gonna support, and not just the patients that they don't know about the law, even the criminalized patients, because we are helping in the criminal side as well to make the poder judicial, is like the judicial court systems, to make these distinctions. Because can you believe that even that they determinate that this was not a crime and his product was legal, they destroy it, because in the
Oh,
internal protocols they don't make the distinction if the product is legal or is not illegal, because they didn't
right.
make the refresh
They
on their
don't know the
regulation.
law.
They don't
Wow.
know the law. So
Wow.
a lot of rights that they are not applying, and that
Right.
they are abusing just because of the lack of knowledge. So there is a lot of um, a lot of things to do here around.
Sure. Yeah. Having to have a campaign to try to educate all of the law enforcement of Costa Rica. There's a lot of
Yeah,
spots there, huh? All over the country. Yeah.
There's a couple of things I want to ask and say about that. Um, I have a few questions based on what you said, but so the first question is what has what has cannabis been like in Costa Rica prior to this new legalization? My family comes from Argentina, and I haven't been there in a while. But when I used to go there, cannabis was as much of a drug as heroin, cocaine, kind of the way we've had it, registered in the U.S. for many years. And
Hmm.
so it just had this stigma of just being drugs and
yeah.
and nothing beneficial to it. And so I'm wondering, like, because you said that there's been this opposition to, these businesses. So I'm wondering, what the general, like, what people think about cannabis there, what they've thought about it in the past, what they're learning.
Mhm. That is super interesting because, okay, I've been, yeah, in the industry, working in this like since the before the new regulation was established. But before that, um, in my 20s, I met the plant. So I used to be professional basketball player. So I never in my life, in all
Wow.
my professional, I I even drink alcohol. Nothing, 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 nothing. But then it was the moment, like a turbulence and crazy things around and everything. I was looking for like kind of healing. I never like to use like traditional medicines, nothing. I was looking and looking for and looking for some to heal myself, my inner self, like
Mm.
to to heal. So I found the plant. I found the plant and helped me a lot. At the beginning, I had this kind of stigma. I talked with my family. My mother was
Yeah.
like super shocked because I was working in a big law firm, a criminal law firm, and she was like, why you use this? And I said, Mama, it's medicinal. I cannot tell you how better I feel after this super exhausted
Mm-hmm.
trial, that it blows my mind all the time. Like I come in, I used to work in psychotropics here as a
Oh. Yeah.
defense attorney in the criminal side. So I was like in too many things around, and I say, I go to the gym. I do a lot of exercise. I have been all my life a good girl, like sports girl, high performance. But then I'm dealing with so much things that I'm so stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom said, like, if you are stressed, go to my exercise. And Mom, I cannot make more exercise. I do so many. And yeah, it heals myself. And I told her the first time, Mom, you know what? What I feel is like when I use the plant, I feel closer to God. She's super religious, and it's what I feel. It
Yeah.
opened my heart to
Mm-hmm.
understand my pains and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So give me this consciousness, to a new awakening. So
Yeah.
I start to share my experience with my relatives, and they didn't like it, for sure. But in the generally, the people here in Costa Rica has, I think, guys, you don't know, maybe Luisito Comunica is the most famous YouTuber in Latin America, and I guess in across in YouTube. But he came here in Costa Rica. He's Mexican. He say, you know what, guys? I have to tell you something. The Costa Ricans, they are very marijuanos because people here around, this is something super usual. You go to Puerto Viejo and everybody are smoke around like super normally, like everybody
Yeah.
knows. And actually, I can tell you, like from 10 people, for 10 people that I know, they smoke and they
Mhm.
believe and understand the benefits of the plants. But it's like double moral because
Yeah.
they don't want to open up that the door that even my mom asked me like, you as an attorney, and I say, but this is medicinal, like in the medicinal
Yeah.
way it's totally different. The people need to understand and make the separate topic about the illegal and the medicinal cannabis. So for everybody here is like, yeah, super recognized, the people accept, but at the same time, they don't recognize it. So when this
Right.
situation happened that they arrested Tom, um, like the police, the most of them, they recognize that they smoke or the wife or
Yeah.
somebody. The people in the court, in the judicial, the assistants of everybody around, they accept that they uses at least gummies or at least
Yeah.
some drops, or anybody here use it, but the people
They're not
don't want
talking
to
about it.
recognize, they don't talk it
Yeah.
about it. And for the police, the law orders,
Hmm.
for them, even that moment I told them, hey, Mr. Police, you know that even you can have already cannabis prescription and they cannot deny you or discriminate you because this is
Hmm.
like another medicine. And they say like, yeah, but maybe if you have this, you have to just use it or take it in your at your home. And I say, why?
Mm.
If the doctor give you some prescription, does the doctor tell you just take it in your home? No,
Right.
right? So
Right.
you can use it anywhere because it's a medicine. You don't have
Yeah.
place to, to use it. And then they said like, yes, but you cannot mix like the cannabis with guns. And I say like, yeah,
Mm.
sound kind of weird, but because there's topics that here coming around like, but let's say this situation as an entrepreneurships. Here the things are very difficult in security. We don't have
Yeah.
anybody that protect us. We can carry guns legal with the documents properly. Actually, I'm doing
Hmm.
I have almost my card that
Hmm.
I approved the
The
exam and
concealed
everything.
carry. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, let's say if I have a prescription of cannabis, they said this cannot be mixed. But if we
Wow.
go to the law don't say that. The law said just somebody that it was sentenced as a drug dealer, trafficking, or some that kind of stuff. They cannot have a gun, but
I
the
see.
people
Yeah.
kind of confusing these kind of things like legal, illegal,
Yeah.
medicinal, no medicinal. So it's, I guess it's lack of information, um,
Hmm.
and fear to open the
Yeah.
mind to something new.
It sounds like you have the same generational stigma that we have here, where like the
Yeah.
older generation that grew up with all the illegal cannabis has a harder time accepting the medicinal value of cannabis because they're raised in a time of prohibition when they're really the fear, like you're saying, the use of the word fear is really genuine because people fear the judgment of their neighbors. So it really does take a lot of brave people like you or like me and others that are willing to have a good conversation about cannabis. And to me, I think all cannabis is medicinal. I think people, even if they're not getting it from a doctor necessarily, maybe they have learned that that's the thing that makes them feel better. So they use it, in a medicinal way. It's definitely improves my mood and helps my appetite and has just improved my overall quality of my adult life. But same, people will give you that sideways glance, or they're looking down on cannabis users, and then they go home and drink their wine. So it's just getting over this hump where they are, can learn to live without that fear. I think is challenging, no matter where we are in the world. So I
For me,
appreciate you knowing all these laws and getting out there and helping people, and even just talking to your family. I think sometimes family are the hardest to approach
yeah.
because that's where you are most concerned about how they feel,
Actually,
Well,
for me, it was super hard at the beginning. Start to talk about this with my family because they are super conservative. My mom is super
yeah,
religious, and at the moment that this became legal, she changed totally, like a switch. And I say,
that's
okay, mom,
great.
because she's cancer survivor 2 times.
Oh,
My
yeah.
father, 2 years ago, he was discovered with Parkinson. So
Oh,
I start to talk about with them like, hey, we need to
yeah,
start to use this. It's gonna be legal very soon, so you need to realize and change your mind, and open the doors to heal yourself. So
yeah,
now they are, just because the regulation change, they are changing as well. So
that's
if
great.
our mayor people, like, they are opening their minds wide, the authorities,
Yeah,
that it's already established, they cannot go against. If there is something that you, now the patients, now the industry, we need to have the legal certainty, because we are
yeah,
investing so much. uh,
hmm,
but yeah, at the beginning for me it was kind of critical, even like for my profession, because
yeah,
it's kind of stigma, kind of a
right,
stigma. But I
hmm,
said, like, why, if this is legal, I have to hide it? What it healed myself, because it's not just this plant. I use so many different plants. I have been using ayahuasca, peyote,
great.
San
Yeah,
Pedrillo, cambo,
yeah.
brome,
And
uh,
are those legal in Costa
bofu.
Rica?
No, we are
Hmm,
working in psilocybin
hmm,
to open the market. But can you
yeah.
believe it,
I think
guys?
all
Like,
plants should be legal.
yeah,
Everything in nature should be legal. We should have
yeah,
access to nature, you know.
exactly. If it
Um,
grows from our earth, it
yeah,
owns us. It's
it's
it's our
sacred.
right. It's our
It
right.
is.
It's sacred.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, this is something that we need to open as well. But for me,
Hmm.
even the psilocybin, it's impressive.
Yeah.
I was using the microdoses of psilocybin, and it's impressive. I'm super. I have very high um, 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 oh, I forgot the name in English. Sorry,
Yo
but
hablo
I,
español si me necesitas
I
que te
think,
traduce.
okay,
Ha
okay, perfect.
ha.
um, eh, ¿cómo es que se llama el síndrome este en el cual no estás concentrado en una cosa, sino como el
Oh,
mil,
ADHD.
ADHD.
Ah,
I'm
yeah.
super ADHD. And I start to use the microdoses, and I'm super focusing, something that
Oh,
usually
that's great.
it's
That's
super
great.
difficult for me.
Yeah.
So I say, why this is hidden? This
Yeah.
need to be promoted.
Right.
And yeah, there's more and more scientists coming around. So
Great.
I have
Yeah.
like this, that everything that it works for me, I want to spread it with the world and share
Yeah.
it, because it saved my life. And I was in a chaotic life in that time. So I said, like,
Um,
it's something that I have to bring to everybody. So it's why we are working not just in the pharmacy project, we are bringing to Costa Rica a hotel retreat in Osa, Ballena, Punta
oh,
Arenas in
cool.
Costa Rica, in the Pacific South, um, to expand this knowledge and bring to our retreats where we can cure from soul to
Yeah,
body, mind,
depression and
everything.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
we're working with real science, with people from the
Um,
MIT, with Jesse, with
wow.
Jared, with all these amazing and incredible people. So yeah, guys, it's it's something that I just want to share the best things in life, because my mom it's cancer survivor. I want to have a long last life. My father
Yeah,
have this kind of thing, so I'm awareness. So if you recognize all these antecedents that you have in your family, you can have the power. You are a powerful person that you can change anything in your inner self, just with the conviction of your belief. So it's the
yeah,
plants, but it's kind of um, consciousness that you have to awakening. So yeah, in my legal side is one thing, but in my spiritual life it's like they cross over at the same
yeah.
in the same business. But I don't see this like a business. That I see this like a purpose in life, that we just want to impact the most lives that we can with this kind of natural products and save more
That's
lives.
great. Yeah,
For
Yeah,
sure. I
yeah.
was wondering, now that it's legal, you said your mom is a cancer survivor. Is she
Mhm.
more open to using cannabis? If
Yeah, now she accepted
yeah.
since
yeah, she's using
they
it.
opened the market.
Good, good.
No, not yet,
No.
because as I
Oh,
told you, in like
She's
1.5 months, we're gonna open the pharmacy. Until that is not opened, we
right.
cannot we
I
cannot
see.
bring this. We are doing everything very, very clearly, very good.
So in the
Yeah,
So
right
we
by
are
the
U.S.,
law.
waiting
Yeah.
in
by the law.
Okay.
in the U.S., I think one of the biggest growing markets are the older people. You know,
Hmm.
they're the ones that
Hmm.
are now just saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm willing to try a gummy." Like, you know,
Hmm.
I'm gonna. This is a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna say this. When my grandfather died, and this was many years ago, my grandma, she just had this like feeling like, you know what? I can just do whatever now. Not because he was holding him back, but just like I think she was just like, look,
Let
I've lived my life
mhm.
like, and she went, and I have the photo, she went whitewater rafting in Alaska,
What?
okay, in her like
Wow. Oh
late
my
70s, 80s,
God.
right? And
Wow.
Wow.
she doesn't know how to swim, right? And so it's kind of the same thing with cannabis is like when people get to a certain age, they're like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm going to try this and see if it helps. And they're
Yeah.
discovering it does. And they're already eating, all these pharmaceutical pills, and so
Hmm.
now they're like saying, oh, maybe I can try these cannabis gummies, if they don't want to smoke or, a drink or something like that. And they're discovering that it's helping them and it's
Yeah.
helping them get off of
So
these other
helpful.
medications.
Hmm.
So yeah, the I don't want to call them senior citizens, but the generation, the older generation that used to be dead set against cannabis in the U.S. is growing to accept it,
Hmm.
in wide amounts. And so that's why I asked about what your mom and other people in Costa Rica think about cannabis, because with the work that you guys are doing, it's, the mentality is going to change a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eve-
actually, sorry, go. That I cut off.
No, I was just thinking about people that have cancer and over the years, the road dogs around here that have smuggled cannabis around even before legalization, helped a lot of people with cannabis or with cancer, by making tinctures or butters, ways for them
Yeah.
to ingest cannabis to improve their really their just overall chance of survival, mostly with helping people that are wasting away, that are having trouble eating from chemotherapy and other treatments that can find relief with cannabis. So I think there's real potential for that, all for the whole world, to improve people's outcomes in life. when they have those kind of, you know, or you know, diagnosis.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, it's very sad for me, and I feel like upset because I want to help more, but since the pharmacy is not open, we cannot do it.
Yeah,
For example, like
sure.
the Rixin oil saved the life of Tom. And his
Oh, that's neat.
impact is his history is super impact because he had testicular cancer in
Yeah.
his 20s,
Wow.
and the doctor say like you have couple months, we don't have too many to do for you, we apply chemo, radio, and nothing. And
Wow.
he received a call of a friend in Oregon that advised him to use the Vixen some oil to come into to his place to start the treatment for 3 months. And when he did it and he came back to his Mayo clinic, the doctor asked what he was doing different because the cancer's gone.
Wow.
And he explained that it was Brixton some oil, and that was 21 years ago. And
Wow.
he's been super helped since then. He didn't use any medicine, any complication with any doctor.
Wow.
21 years later, just using the Brixton some oil and as a regular cannabis, medicinal cannabis patient. So, can you imagine here in Costa Rica, our social security system, it's free for everybody. So,
Wow.
so just imagine, yeah, it's one of the best in all around the world because
Wow.
we don't deny health to anybody. Um, so when somebody need a cancer treatment here in Costa Rica, everything is for that person. Even that person never paid any penny,
That's great. That's great.
the
Yeah.
security system cover everything. So because of my mother, I helped to this breast cancer survivor association, and they have all these patients that they are cancer survivor, and they help the others that start the process. So I was talking with some of them that they are already very well, but there is a couple of them that they still with the process, with the treatment, with the chemio, radio, and
Mhm.
I am we are telling them all the benefits and explain them, educate them, and they are open to use these new uh, medicines because can you believe that the treatment for the kind of cancer that is super progressive could cost here in Costa Rica at least $15,000, and
Right.
for 1 month. And they are giving these pills and these pharmaceuticals treatments to the people to deal better with the cancer. But
Yeah.
comparing this with the Rixin oil that
Right.
can cure the cancer, or it is in the last stage, at least can give a better quality life to the
Yeah.
patients, that can
Mhm.
cost at least between $10,000 or $12,000 for 3 months and can save your life. The other is
Mhm.
just for to see if you
Right. Keep
if
poisoning.
you keep, yeah, sure.
Mhm.
And so I told this patient like, hey, I want to help you so much, but we cannot make your oil until the caja, that is the social security system, they don't buy the product. And we
Oh
are
yeah.
willing, and we are almost to bring the first importation to the country to sell the product to this social security that we call it la caja. So
Wow.
we in that way can start to impact and help the people that they don't have access through the pharmacy system.
Is there a cap on the THC content of products that you guys are going to be that they're going to be available?
No,
Like, is there a
actually,
limit to how high THC you can
no,
have?
no,
No?
not just actually the unique percentage that the regulation talk about is if it's less than 1%, it's considered CBD. If it's
I see.
plus 1%, it's THC. So have to have like we call it green prescription, like it's like
Yeah.
a special kind of
From the doctor.
prescription.
Yeah.
Yeah. uh, and 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 with that it's like the way, but the prescriptions actually it's not just for the Costa Rican. Anybody that come to Costa Rica as a medical tourism can have it.
Yeah.
This is not limit just
Mm.
for Costa Rican, and for bringing the product to La Caja that I was explaining to you is very important because this is the health system that anybody in the country can have access now to the product, not just through the pharmacies. So we are the unique association that are under the system to sell the product to this
Mm.
institution. But the percentage will the percentage of THC, it will depends of the doctor recommendation, but usually the
Huh.
doctor here are not saying how much percentage or which kind of flower
Mm.
because they don't have at this moment that kind of high knowledge, I guess. Uh, because it's something that they start to study actually in
Pardon
2024
me.
in November. um, the CEO of Green Mountain Project and Canna Pura Vida, Tom McCullen, he brought with his own resources of the company, and he made the first seminar here in Costa Rica with the doctor Dustin Sulak, one of
Hmm.
the main doctor in the industry. Yeah, for sure. Because the institutions here in Costa Rica, or at least the doctors, they don't have this this learning of
Right.
this
The knowledge. Yeah.
the knowledge. So he came and for 2 days, the doctor Dustin Sulak certified at least 200 doctors and pharmaceuticals here in pharmaceutical people here
Cool.
in Costa Rica, because we don't know not what we don't not just want to impact the patient just um looking at the patient as a number. We need that the doctors understand completely what is the patient needs, because it's not the same like treat an Asperger case
Right.
or fibromyalgia case than a
Hmm.
kid or an adult. So
Sure.
they need to be more knowledge in this area and topic. So in that moment, they will can recommend what kind of strain in what kind of percentage. But in this stage, I don't feel like the doctors here are in that. So the prescription
Hmm.
are open. He can, for example, they put it like can consume gummies, infuse the raw flower. So they open it and extend. So the
Okay.
people when they go and buy the product, um, they don't focalize like just in one thing. If the
Okay.
pharmacist recommend him something different, it's okay.
So
Yeah.
I have a question. So you said that in Costa Rica, healthcare is funded by the government, and we're talking about selling cannabis in pharmacies and that it's
Mhm.
medicine.
Hmm.
Does this mean that there's any chance that the Costa Rican government is ever going to pay for people's cannabis as medicine?
Yeah, for sure. They will do it.
Wow.
And I guess it
That's
will be
great.
the highest market. The government of Costa Rica, I have the feeling that it's gonna be the main buyer of our product.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah, here
that's
in
Yeah.
great.
Costa
I
Rica.
wonder. I wonder if it's like that in other countries that have legal cannabis and like free healthcare. Like I know Canada
In
has free
Uruguay,
healthcare in Uruguay. Okay.
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, yeah, Uruguay is one of the only ones
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
legalized, huh, in South America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there
Right,
other
but even
com
Canada has free healthcare, and they have legal cannabis and medical cannabis, but I don't think they give cannabis, you know,
they
like
they they don't pay for the treatment,
they don't fund it.
huh?
In the U.S., I think there's something like 7 people that have been getting cannabis from the government for years,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of crazy because now that medical marijuana has come so far since those 7 people got it, but they're still the only seven that
It's
are
for
ever. No one else is ever going to get free
Right.
cannabis from the government. So
actually, I guess the change of mind have to come as well with the doctors. For example, here in Costa Rica,
Yeah.
that they are who recommend the patients, because let's say in the different specialized that they have, but they don't know about this. And they are not opening because the other part of the pharma are paying them for put their products. But
Ah,
what's going on with the natural side? Too many of them, they just believe in traditional medicine. So there is a lot of
right.
challenge as well to for us, to the doctors, the mayor of the doctors, to recognize this as a new way to treat the patients in this kind of ills, because there's not just a conclusion medicine to use. Actually, they can use both at the same time. But yeah,
Mm.
the doctors are who gonna recommend the patients to use it, or the patient have to be aware to ask the doctor why we cannot improve our treatment using this or implement it with this other thing.
Mm.
So yeah, that is the challenge. Not
part of the
just
challenge is
teach the
also
part of the challenge, yeah, to
part of
teach
the
the
challenge is
doctors.
also that the doctors have a financial investment in the pharmaceutical system, right?
Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. In the
So
Mm-hmm.
old,
it's like,
There's a conflict of interest.
that's right. Why do they want
yeah.
people? And also like they don't even want people getting better. They want people to
Mm-hmm.
just maintain. Like
Yeah,
they don't want you to die, because if you die, then they stop getting paid. But they want you to continue using their drugs. So
yeah,
that's going to be. I'm sure it's the same in Costa Rica, right? That
yeah,
the doctors have a vested interest in keeping you on drugs.
yeah, for sure. Um,
Not all countries allow for like the pharmaceutical commercials and stuff that we have in our country. What we have is like a pretty corrupt system where doctors sometimes are even to be paid by people running pharmaceutical drugs, to get them to promote their drugs in the clinic instead of just thinking about the symptoms of the patient and the best outcome for them. And I hope that it's not like that in Costa Rica, but I'm not sure. A lot of places that don't have the privatized health system that we have, where a lot of people don't have access to health care, don't allow for those kind of doctors to be paid by people with their brand of medicine. Do you know what I'm asking? Like, would a
um,
doctor go to your,
yeah,
would
yeah,
a guy
definitely,
selling the drugs, would he go to the doctor and say,
definitely.
if you sell these drugs for me, then I'll give you extra money?
Actually, I don't know how it works that, but I hear, I don't know where, I just hear.
Hey, in third
Yeah,
world countries, that's going to happen even more than
yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
that even
yeah.
they've
You
been
got to believe it
paying for
happens.
for for
Wow,
send the patients to chemio or radio. They've
wow,
been paying
yeah,
for that. So
okay.
yeah, this is super controversial in all the countries. Actually, it's why I think they decide not open the industry for dispensaries. They open it for the pharmaceutical industry.
I
So
see.
it's like,
Yeah, so they
you
can
see,
have all the
they can
patients.
keep,
Yeah,
they can still keep in the power in this.
yeah, yeah,
It's
So
funny because
yeah,
yeah. We
it's
have a
the
lot of that
same.
here too. Yeah, they want to
But
make
the
the
good
money.
thing is the big
Yeah,
pharmas, they don't have the knowledge behind with these other kind of treatments, because
yeah, it's true.
they
Yeah.
bill in. It's like uh I saw it like this a loyalty competition at the same time, because it's another kind of health. But now here they put it like in the same,
Oh,
so the
good.
pharma can dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
because I guess they can manage it, but they don't have the knowledge. Thank God. So I hear
Yeah.
like big farmers like Bayer, they are got into the cannabis industry.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Yeah,
the
Well,
tobacco
there's so much of
companies.
that knowledge was lost in times of prohibition, because I feel like there was a time when people knew which cannabis was better for seizures, which one is better for cramps, and now a lot of that knowledge is lost. And so I was happy to hear you talking about, the difference between someone who's needing cannabis for their endometriosis or for their cancer, because that really is a knowledge that is going to be so crucial going forward, that people can um, have a better outcome for their specific needs of cannabis, instead of just one blanket kind, or just a couple of kinds that are in a dispensary. So I'm really happy to hear that that kind of stuff is being studied, and um, hopefully we can gain back that knowledge, that ancestral knowledge that was lost in times of prohibition. You know.
Yeah, actually here it's increasing so much. The 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 tourists in this kind of healing aspects, because I'm super positive that more and more people it's awakening,
Mm-hmm.
and and they see like more options. They are not anymore blind. All the information is there. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't need to even make too many research. The AI can make everything for you now. So
Yeah.
it's just open a little the volunteer, and open and expand the mind, because it's been there since always for everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Our ancestors actually, the retreat have that rescue that part of our ancestors um traditions in the healing aspect, so we
Yeah.
are inspiring for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Even because before we had all the pharmaceutical takeover, drugs were very natural herbs. Even the word drug comes from the word dry, which was
Mhm.
related to how you would hang and dry your drugs. Your drugs were dried and they were herbs. And there's so many different medicinals, and it's nice to get to a point in life where we can get back to those roots. And really, I think you're doing great stuff there, especially that you have this platform where you have your law degree also. Um, I'm sure that that was a lot of hard work to get your law degree, coming from sports into law, and then being able to help promote, legal cannabis in your country. Um, were you already? You said you were already working at a law firm before you got into
Yeah.
cannabis. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but not related with cannabis. The law firm that I used to work, they are super conservative. Actually, they was the first law firm established in Costa Rica, like more
Huh.
than 80 years. So yeah, but
Wow.
now I'm doing my own path. I have my own law firm, if because I'm in two
That's
different
great.
industry. I'm
Yeah.
into different industry, in the cannabis industry, but in the crypto industry and the
Huh.
digital assets world. I work in blockchain in tokenization projects. So actually, this is some mix. I'm doing like kind of mix with both industry to
Yeah.
prepare the launching of one project. Is actually in the cannabis industry. We are preparing and working in a traceability system for all the supply chain from seed to sale, using blockchain,
Yeah.
for
Mm.
trace everything, and use this layer of this technology that not just can follow up everything, but the traceability is immutable. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't gonna lose anything on the way. Yeah, and all the transparency that this bring to the industry is impressive. So we're preparing this product for launch it not just for the cannabis industry, for any industry related with supply chain. But yeah,
Yeah,
now focusing in
for
the
tracking.
cannabis industry, yeah, there is something that the governments even can use.
Mm. Well,
Yeah, so
so what about
mhm.
home grow? Will you guys have anyone, are citizens allowed to grow their own cannabis in Costa Rica or only coming from the pharmacies?
Like I'll like like the people growing their own cultivation, are
Yeah,
you say?
yeah,
Yeah,
like my
actually that
plants here, if I can have
mhm.
that
Yeah,
in my own
actually
home.
that never was criminalized. Uh,
Oh,
there is no an amount established like how many plants you can have. There is no, but kind of in the in different sentence that the courts gives is like kind of 4 plants per person. Let's say
okay,
in the jurisprudence talk about like kind of 4 plants per person, because more than that could be considered like, hey, this is for commercial purpose. What is
right.
illegal is the commercial purpose without the the properly licensed, because
I see.
it's not true that you cannot sell it. You can sell it, but are if you have the license, if you have everything on the law, but for your own purpose, you can do it. Actually, with the with the Tom's detention, when
Hmm.
the prosecutor asks how you
Yeah.
have that, because we don't, for sure we don't support the illegal industry.
Hmm.
It's our own you can own your own
Yeah. It's
product, you can
his
grow
own
your own
possession.
product. Yeah, you can grow
Hmm.
your own product. Yeah, until the authorities allowed you to bring you the medicine with all the trust that we are
Yeah.
bringing, not just with not just fulfilling and comply with all the regulations, even showing the traceability that anybody can see, and it's 24 hours. All the traceability that we can provide with these blockchain systems, not just for the
Hmm.
governments, for international institutions, for international purpose. So
Well,
it's
yeah.
very interesting how both industries can converge.
You're thinking big, international. That's how you do
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you guys going to be importing? You're saying said something about bringing in products. So are you importing products from other cannabis growers around South America, or mostly things will be grown there in Costa Rica?
This is the purpose. We already start our little own harvest in Pacific South in Perez Celedon, in a farmer um,
Hmm.
that actually one institution here in Costa Rica that is named INA, the National Institute of Learning. They
Oh,
help us uh, to
oh,
to make the first growing. So that was like a test.
yeah.
We made it hydroponical. uh,
Oh,
it was very interesting because we didn't have anybody to support us until we start to partnership with Cana Pura Vida, that they have the knowledge. So
mm,
we got this collaboration, and then we realized that until we gonna grow it our own product, it's gonna pass couple months, but we need to have now already here the product for the patients. So we're gonna
hmm.
import the first we're gonna make the first importation of product from Canada to Costa Rica very
Wow.
soon,
Hmm.
for supply, not just the Cana Pura Vida pharmacy, the pharmacy of Friendly Hand that it's named Shari Wellness Center. that is part of the group of the association. So yeah, for the first time, we're gonna do it in that way, because we have the license for import to the country, but as
Oh,
well to grow it. But while the production is ready, we're gonna import the product. And there's different ways, because we're gonna import the raw product. But if we want to bring like gummies,
candies,
infuse,
yeah.
all these kind of
Mm-hmm.
things, we need to inscribe each product in the Ministry of
Mm,
Health, and that will take
sure.
between 6 months or 1 year. So for each product, we need to inscribe
Yeah.
that for
They
bringing
have
to
to
the
know all
country.
the ingredients and such. Yeah.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we are almost to get the manufacturing license, that it will allow us to create our own manufactured products, like the gummies and all these kind of secondary products.
Cool.
We need to inscribe as well, but we don't need to bring it to the country. But that will happen when we're gonna have our harvest ready, for sure.
Great. So
Yeah.
you're just getting started with some of the first grows there in Costa Rica, huh?
Yeah,
Um,
we've been the first growers.
that's great.
Yeah,
That's
Can,
yeah,
great.
since you said that, I'm wondering, because we know that cannabis has been grown in places like Mexico forever, but has cannabis been growing in Costa Rica forever as well?
as I
Like,
know.
is there a long history of cannabis growing in Costa Rica? Obviously not legal, but I mean, you
Yeah.
said it
Right.
wasn't illegal. You said it has never been made illegal. So what does that mean?
Mhm. Yeah, let's go to our ancestors. What I hear and what I read is like, yeah, they used to use all these kind of medicines and plants, and they was using cannabis since always.
Mm-hmm.
But more and more, with the pass of the time, the people open it and open it, until now, these days, that even as you say, Gabby, the older people that um, are thriving with more ills and kind of things, they are looking for the medicine. But
Need a phone
historically,
charger.
in our culture, it's like, yeah, the aborigines, but no, like the like the new race, like the colonized,
Right.
conquered, the new generations. I think in the middle, they lost that, until now, that I have the feeling that we are rescued that
Well,
from our
saving
ancestors.
the
Yeah.
culture. I mean,
Yeah.
Mm.
I figured there was cannabis in Costa Rica, but I just didn't know.
But actually here we have really good product, but people, they're growing indoor for make the best quality product.
Mm-hmm.
This test that we did with the National Institute of Learning, we did it in greenhouses. It wasn't the properly way, but even with that, with the lack of investment that we had for start the project, it was good. It was good for start a little project with all the investment that you need. So
Yeah.
for now, we really want to go big, but guys, that this is very, very hard working, not just
Yeah.
in the managing, it's in the financial part as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I mean, you
it's
want to
been
go
super
big.
challenging.
You
Yeah.
want to go
Yeah.
big, but you don't want to like bleed out on the bleeding edge because you're pushing
Yeah.
too hard, you know.
Yeah.
And
Right.
the business will grow. Like
Yeah.
as your garden grows, the business is gonna grow. So
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we have to make a switch of of the goals of the companies last year, because we was focusing in grow and manufacturing, but then it came the new regulation, the bylaw established all the order for the pharmacies and clinics, and we understood that we need to focus our all our uh, investment in the pharmacy change, because the other it will takes time. So what we need, the channel for sell the product to the patients is the pharmacy. So we need to restructure the strategy of the company, and all that we was investing in the property and the manufacturer and everything, we have to move it and focusing just in the pharmacy. Yeah, we're gonna be in all the supply chain, from seed to sale, but now we are focusing in the most important is to bring a quality high product to the clients here in Costa Rica, to open not just for Costa Rica, for all the world that want to come in as a medical tourism here. um, but yeah, we want to go big. We want to open so fast this 15 at least pharmacy in all around Costa Rica, but at the same time, having the resources to grow in our own cannabis and manufacturing our own plant, that it's gonna be the unique and first manufacturing plant in cannabis here in Costa Rica, and at the same time, a franchise, a franchise zone. That this is a free trade zone, that it's for exporting, and nobody's doing this kind of things here around, and not just in Costa Rica and Central America. We're gonna be the first in Central America.
Wow.
So you know what I'm thinking about? That cannabis is going to be sold in pharmacies. And originally, I was like, well, that's great. You know, cannabis is medicine, and, you know, it's an already, you know, instead of just opening up dispensaries, the problem is that how much do these pharmacists actually know about cannabis?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
they're
that's
gonna
where
require, you
Stefan
know, like,
comes in.
you know, what'd you say,
Yeah.
Sarakoya?
I said that's where Stephanie comes in. She has the knowledge.
Right, but like, you know, she
Mhm.
can't be there. She can train them, you know, if they're willing to learn. A lot of them just might be just selling it just because there's going to be money in it. But,
Mhm.
you know, when a cannabis patient goes into a, you know, purchase cannabis for one of the first times and they don't know what works for them, you know, having somebody to help them that has experience is that's pretty critical stuff. So I think that's
Mhm.
something that you know you should start thinking about in Costa Rica. Like, how are we going to get these pharmacists trained to properly
Mhm.
advise patients there?
Yeah, they need to switch. It's a big opportunity for
Mhm.
the pharmacists here in Costa Rica, because at the end, what is the name that you call the people that they are attending in the dispensary? The
The bud
people
Oh,
who
tenders,
bud
advise
they
the
call
tender,
bud
them.
tender.
Yeah.
Okay,
right?
the
You
Yeah.
bud
know,
tender, the pharmacist is gonna become the bud tender.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
this
love
is
your
super,
attitude about it. Yeah.
yeah, excited, because
Yeah.
hey,
they
you know
went
what
to
I see?
college.
I'm going to see a migration. You know, so it used to be in California they'd be called trimmigrants,
Oh,
right? Okay, like
nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
people would like
Mhm.
travel from all over the world to come to California to trim, you know,
Yeah.
during
Yeah,
the harvest season.
I
But now
remember.
what I'm seeing, and I'm about to give so many people ideas right now, they're gonna want Californians or people that have lived here are gonna want to move
To
to
Costa
Costa
Rica.
Rica to be
And
bud tenders because,
and
Right.
like, you know, like
here.
a bud tender is like, you know, but over there it's like they've got the knowledge that you guys need
Yeah,
in these
yeah.
pharmacies, and you know, most of them
They're
will be
looking
happy
for
living on the
them.
beach. You know what? I might go and be a bud tender because I want to
Yeah.
live. I want to live in Costa Rica
The
so
pura vida
bad.
life.
I just want to
Yeah.
go. Yeah,
And the man.
La pura vida, right?
The Pura Vida life, yeah. And
Yeah.
you know what? The most hot places in Costa Rica is Santa Teresa, yeah, and it's where it's gonna be located, the manufacturing plant, where we're gonna grow and
Mm.
manufacture in the same spot. So that is amazing because it not just it's big for us and for the country and the region. We're gonna start having collaborations with universities that not just in the tech sides, in the science,
Oh,
and for the growers at the same time. So we are opening the doors very soon when we have all that investment that I know that it's coming very soon for the
yay.
manufacturing plan. We're gonna open the doors for the universities, make these collabs with us that we are bringing all this science with all these great people around, like Jesse
Mm.
and Jared and everybody that want to help us here in Costa Rica. We need a lot of knowledge and a lot of recognized people that know what they are talking. Because yes,
Yeah,
we have the volunteer, we have a beautiful country, but we don't know about the industry. We just made a law that we don't know how to apply. So we
yeah,
need all this knowledge, guys.
yeah. Well, it seems like you're doing great getting everything organized there and having these interactions with your lawmakers and your are you talking at all with the doctors or like the president of the doctors you had mentioned? Or is there a way to get the education into their hands so they can make a better decision for cannabis for Costa Ricans?
After the first seminary that we gave in 2024, we we are compromised still education the doctors. So it's why we want to make another seminary for more and more doctors, actually for the doctors that they are working in our network. The first training, we have everything recorded and we are giving them even the opportunity to have that training, even that they
Oh, great.
didn't when in that moment. So we're gonna make another training very soon after the launch of the pharmacy, so we can expand the network of doctors that we are training with the hand of the Dr. Sulak.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna be 15 pharmacy for the next year, so it's very excited.
Yeah. So
Are
are
you?
they all across the country and not or where your pharmacies will be?
Yeah, all across the
Yeah.
country. We're gonna start first here in San Jose, in Lindora, Santana Lindora. That place is called the Millionaire Mile. And the
Mm,
Millionaire Mile, up upstairs to Starbucks and Papa John's. Very
okay.
soon, very soon, very soon, guys. We're super excited. Then it's gonna be all the um, like all the main capital and everything around, and then the coast, Santa Teresa, Tamarindo, uh, Puerto
Yeah.
Viejo, Limon, all Costa Rica, Jaco for sure. Mhm.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we're super excited.
Yeah. That's
Are you
great.
able? uh,
And we are inviting you guys. You have to come in for the big
Oh
opening.
yeah.
She
When
she's
are we
inviting us
going,
before.
Gabby?
I was gonna say like
She's
we're gonna
inviting
show
us and
we're gonna just show up and she's gonna be like, huh? You invited us. We're here.
Yeah, for sure,
yay,
for
that's
sure.
it.
We're gonna be
Yeah, we're
super happy
coming.
to having you here.
Oh my
Cool.
god.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
My dream is to be able to work in cannabis someplace
No.
where I'm by the ocean. Like that I can, like I want to go in the ocean in the morning before I go to work, then go take care of my plants and take care of business, and then get in the ocean again before I lay my head on the pillow. And so, like, you know,
You have to
Sounds
talk
great.
with Tom, because that is what it saved his life, is what he did when he took the Rixinsom oil treatment in Oregon. He moved right away to Costa Rica to having that life
Wow.
that you are talking, and it's how
Mm-hmm.
he healed himself. Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
moved to Santa Teresa 21 years ago, And since then, actually, it,
Is
it
he
was really
standing there
hard
with
to.
you?
Yeah, he's here around.
Tell him to get behind the camera for a second.
Tom,
Yeah, we're
coming.
looking forward to Tom and Gabby's
They are saying that
upcoming
they want to
show.
watch you.
For a
Yeah,
second.
Yeah, for a
yeah,
second.
we want you to say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to invite Tom to do something. I don't know. Is he not going to be able to hear me? Okay, we don't have to put him on the spot if it's difficult. Oh, hey, how are you? All of a sudden, you're breaking up a little bit, Stephanie.
Uh-oh.
Second. Sorry.
No worries. I hear you now.
Yeah, we're looking
Everything
forward
was going so
to
perfect.
yeah, so upcoming, right? You're gonna have a you and Tom podcast, hopefully.
Yeah, what I wanted to invite Tom to do, but I want to wait till I can be sure that they hear us.
Yeah. Aw.
Stephanie might have to disconnect and then connect again.
Yeah, it looks like she's reconnecting.
Hey, so while she's reconnecting, um, is there any political news from the cannabis world in Ohio that you want to tell us about?
Um, pardon me. We are still actively collecting signatures to repeal the House Bill 56 that was passed by Ohio legislature and then will become the law on March 19th if we don't get 250,000 valid signatures. So all of you Ohio people out there, please go to knowonsb56.com where you can find places where you can go and sign the petition. You can make a small donation. Over 2 million Ohioans voted for cannabis. So if we could even get like half of you $5 mad, we could pay for all of the signature collection to happen. And then we wouldn't have to, go with just our small volunteer group because we don't have a big amount of time. So this is our time, Ohio. Our time is now. We need to come out and try to support the repeal of this House bill. We're not going to be able to challenge it constitutionally. And until we get a constitutional amendment ready to roll, this is the best we have. So I hope everybody can tune in and help out with that. If you live in a city, by the way, in Ohio that passed a decrim law like Athens has, like we passed TACO, which is the Athens Cannabis Ordinance. If you have a cannabis ordinance that says you have no fines, no court costs for cannabis infractions in your city, then please keep that in mind and be empowered by that. Because when you go to your courthouse, no matter what the governor has signed recently, your grandfathered preempted law will protect you and you'll get no fines, no court costs. So we in Ohio have to be creative and just do what we can to circumnavigate the fuckery. Make sure you vote because the less people vote, the more gerrymandered our state becomes. The more gerrymandered we are, the harder it is to vote these guys out. If you don't know what that means, for instance, Athens was a little blue bubble surrounded by red. And last year they split our district in half. So now our little blue town is in two half red or completely red districts. So it essentially dilutes our ability to vote and get a populist vote in our community. So please take whatever action you can to be involved in your government, or they're going to implement laws like no sharing. You have to have your cannabis in your trunk, or it's going to be a criminal offense. And then sharing or smoking in public will be a criminal ticketable offense. So I'm hoping I get a ticket because we have no fines, no court costs in Athens. and I can just get it framed and put it by my taco sign.
I'm trying to
That's
get
what
her
I
back
know.
on. She needs a new link. What's
Oh
awesome
man.
of
Man, we've
everyone,
really, really enjoyed this, being able to talk to Stephanie today. It's cool what she has going on. And the fact that she has her law degree and is um, taking to heart the challenge of informing her community, even when you have to have uncomfortable conversations with others in your lives, you know. Um, we would have maybe less pushback from the state if more people were willing to come out of the closet in our legal network and have real conversations about how cannabis improves your life, why you use cannabis with those in your community that um, are still suffering from reefer madness. So, so I really, really admire Stephanie. I'm glad that she came on the show today because she's like, this is me and I'm doing it and I'm not hiding. And that's what we need more of if we're going to remove the burden and stigma that is cannabis from all of our communities. We have to be the ones that help the others overcome that stigma. Uh,
for
right,
sure.
Gabby?
Yeah. And
He's like, we're just going to Costa Rica. What are you talking
I
about?
mean, like, I'm just like staring out the window on her video going, oh my God, just
Yeah,
bring me to
yeah,
Costa Rica.
right?
But, you know, I first of all, what I was thinking when you were talking is how people think that, you're quiet, but they don't realize how how loud you can be in a quiet voice, and I just love listening to you talk about, inspiring people to, you know, get out there and,
Yeah, let's
make
try to
make
keep
this
it as
happen for the
real as
plant. Yeah.
possible, you know. Yeah. Yeah, if we can keep it real and be brave enough to have uncomfortable conversations, that's something that people need to
They
do
need me to
more.
resend the link, so keep talking for a
So you're
second.
leaving too?
No, 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 no. Just hang on one
I was
second.
looking at the chat here. Sure, I'll just hang out.
No, no, you got to keep entertaining the people.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna look at this chat here.
Why don't you talk to people
Yeah,
about the
people are
lemon
talking
G?
about Death Star and Sour Deadhead. Sour Deadhead. Is that you, Gabby? The Sour Dead? No,
No, come
it's
on.
Sour Diesel. Yeah, yeah.
Let me see here.
We're all deadheads here. If Not So Dog was here, he would tell you that the dead community is why, or is like, you know, greatly inclined and intertwined with the kind bud community, as we were the literal Johnny Appleseeds of kind bud distribution all over the country back in the day when we were following Jerry around. So that's the real deal. Um, yeah, Lemon G history. Um, we were living in Southwest Ohio and accidentally seeded our indoor with seedlings we were getting ready for outside that were G13 seeds, which we would get from friends that live south of there. And we just sexed them in the budding room because we didn't have a lot of other space. And that's where all the pollen came from. The mom of the lemon is Skunk Misty. We had mist, like a straight Misty at the time also. Um, there were a lot of phenos that came out of that. Um, and at the time, I didn't know what pheno hunting was or that we were up to it, but we definitely were. We kept like several plants that looked cool, and then we flowered clones of those to see which ones were going to be good. And some of them were awful, and some of them were good. We had one that was real. It smelled like the terrible side of cat piss, not like the good side of it. Yeah, this is like
Oh
the
my
good side
God.
of the armpit
I
smell,
can't. You
just
had to
that
go
like
there.
dank smell. Yeah, that weird odor that comes from bodies smell, and there were a couple of them that just smelled really terrible. And one that would not get you high. That probably is a good CBD medicine that just got lost in the shuffle because we didn't know. And then the Lysol, I mentioned the Lysol on our last podcast about the lemon G because that was a sister seed of lemon from the same happening that our friend Grumpy kept around Ohio and then eventually took to Colorado with him. And since our last podcast, someone has reached out to me who may well have that Lysol. We talked about how its bud structure was, and just like the lemon, it's like a really shaggy girl. Um, and so I'm hoping that the quest for the Lysol comes, to fruition. Same with the old G13. There are people that think that it's around
Hi
Ohio,
guys.
but
Hi,
it's been
I
a while since I've seen it. Oh, we got
came
Stephanie
back.
back.
She's
Yay.
back. Nice.
Yay.
Did Tom
That's
break the
Hello
great.
camera?
guys, sorry.
It's okay.
Huh?
Did Tom break the camera?
Sorry, I don't know what
It's a
happened.
it's a joke.
Something like that. No, what's
Yo dije que Tom
going on.
le
It's my
rompió
first,
todo.
it's my,
Era porque tratamos a cambiar el foto a Tom.
I guess when I
We
Stephanie,
almost got her. We're so close
Stephanie,
sorry
to
guys.
getting her.
I
are you on the right internet? Are you on the right Wi-Fi?
Hmm.
I'm gonna
You
just
know,
mute her for a second.
things that like good internet connection is the kind of
I
stuff
mean,
that we
yeah,
take for
it was doing
granted
real
some
good.
places. Yeah. Yeah. Even here in
Oh,
you know,
Appalachia, there's areas where it's bad. So, oh, we got her maybe. No.
well, so we can keep going for a minute while we try to get her back.
Yeah.
What I
And the
wanted
other
to
thing I
what I
was thinking about was Reba. I hope that she's feeling better because we're missing her on the podcast today. So, um, and then coming up, our next podcast, we have Bobby or Billy, I'm sorry, from Emerald Academy from California, who founded a company, kind of a humble grower lady. I really look forward to meeting her and finding out more about Billy's story. And her Instagram is at Emerald Alchemy. If anybody wants to check out what's going on with her before we get her on here. So,
so while oh, there's Reba. While we're waiting to
I
see if we can get
miss you,
Stephanie
Reba.
back, I could just say what I was going to say when we broke the internet trying to get Tom on camera.
Yeah,
And I have been wanting to, I have a whole bunch of different show ideas. The most recent one, which of course is this WOW podcast, Women of Weed. But something else that I wanted to do was I wanted to do a podcast on medical cannabis. And I wanted to make a podcast where people would tell their stories about how cannabis has improved their lives. And
yeah.
so Tom, having, gone through it and survived because of Rick Simpson oil,
Eat. Yeah,
and, because I still want to make more friends in Costa Rica, I'm thinking, we should
heck
do a
yeah.
podcast from Tom, with Tom as our guest, where he will be the first one to do our show about the medical benefits of cannabis. I
oh,
purchased a whole bunch.
thank God,
There you go.
thank
Now
God.
you're perfect. Sounds great.
Hi, Stephanie.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can
thank
hear
you.
you.
I have to
Yeah,
restart everything.
Don't
So
worry,
sorry,
that
guys. I don't know
happens.
what
It
it's
happened.
happens.
okay. It's okay.
This is an international call. So let me repeat
Yeah,
myself what I was saying when we broke the internet.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
you can
I
blame Tom.
Yeah, it's Tom's fault. He broke the internet. But I have a few different show ideas, and this most recent one was Wow, Women of Weed. But another show that I've been wanting to do is a show about the medical benefits of cannabis. And I actually purchased the website. I don't even know what the name is because I made this plan like a year ago and haven't done it yet. But I want to invite Tom to be our inaugural guest to do the first show where he tells his story about how cannabis has helped his life. Now,
Yeah, it's
That'd be great.
beautiful.
and
Tom
what
will
I,
be super, super, super excited.
yeah, because we were going to have him on today, and then we said, like we really want to try to have this as female focused as possible. So that's why we asked Tom to do it another time. But I think, like I said, he could be our first guest and telling his story. And one thing I want to tell everybody that watches this podcast today and in the future is I want to encourage people to document their stories. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important because, time goes by and we forget a lot of things. And,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even when we pass, the stories that we tell can inspire other people.
Yeah.
And particularly, so with medical cannabis, I was looking online and I like did a search for medical marijuana saved my life. And I found almost nothing, like for YouTube videos. Okay. I found one video that was like 3 or 4 months old and it had like a couple of hundred views. And then I found another video that was years old and it had like almost 1,000 views. And I'm like, this just isn't enough, right? And we know that there's so many people that have stories about how cannabis has improved their life, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the reason why those YouTube videos aren't getting as much attention is because it's one person posting a singular video about
Right.
cannabis, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
people in their network see it, but it's just not reaching people that aren't just looking for it. Or even when they're looking for it, it's hard to find. So I want to make a place where people can tell their story. Now,
That's,
we're very busy with the podcasts that we already do. Okay. So I want to encourage people to just sit in front of their phone and document your story. And if you document your story about how cannabis has improved your life, we'll post it on the channel.
yeah,
It's
that's cool.
and like
It's
when we
very cool.
when, when we post
Yeah.
a video, it's automatically going to get thousands of views right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
But then if we create a place where people know that they can hear stories about how medical cannabis improved their lives, I just feel like that's how it grows.
That'll help
Like
with the
more people are going to
stigma that we
if
were
more
talking about.
if more people
Mm-hmm.
post their story here, then this will be the place where more people go to hear the story.
Yeah.
So like I said, I wish that I could spend, this is not a paying job. If it was, I would do it, you know all day long, but right
Yeah.
now there's only so many hours we can dedicate to podcasting a week.
Yep.
And let's say every week I did a show about medical cannabis, which I don't know that I can do that. But so that's only 52 stories that we can tell in a year. But like we could get hundreds, if not thousands, of user submitted videos sent to us. We can post all that stuff and we can make a place where, if you're a medical patient and cannabis has improved your life and you tell your story and you convince one person to use cannabis,
Yeah.
you've had an
Spread the
impact.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Or
know?
just maybe help one other person see that it's not dangerous or that it helps people, even if they don't decide to use it, if they see like, hey, people are using it, it benefits them. And these are real stories. I think that's powerful. And it's a great way to reduce the stigma that we have. That's
You know,
international stigma. So, oh,
the, be-
Stephanie.
the best stories would be the ones of like the older generation that always thought that cannabis was bad, and then
Yeah.
now they try it and it's helping them get off of all these other pills.
Even
Yeah.
But
even the grandma,
yeah,
even those
Mm-hmm.
polices that they detain Tom, I
Yeah.
advised them. I told them, hey guys, you know that you as a police can use it. They cannot discriminate you. It's by the law,
Yeah.
it's for everybody. So it's like it's 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 like kind of interested how we can start to deal with all this stigma that now anybody can use it.
Yeah. That's great advice for the police.
yeah. Take a chill,
Yeah.
Yeah,
smoke a
have a
Yeah.
joint.
Well,
memory.
Don't
no, I
take a
mean, you're
pill,
a
just smoke a
lawyer. You
joint.
can give them
Let's
free
smoke
advice.
the
It's
pipe of
great.
the peace together.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you think, when legalization first started happening in California, a lot of times the police just didn't care,
Hmm.
And it's like, even if they know that this is the law, because you said that they don't know, and I believe you, but even when they know it's the law, a lot of them are going to say, you know, like
Yeah.
they would just cut down your plants here anyway. Even if you had like
Actually, I
permission
have.
to grow 12 plants at the time, like
Mhm.
sometimes the cops would come and they'd just cut it down. And
Yeah.
sometimes they'd give you like the tickets to go to court and stuff, and the stuff would get thrown out, like the charges would get thrown out,
Yeah.
but they still put you through it. They still took your
Yeah.
crop. They still,
Hmm.
maybe
It's
took
what
your
they do.
money,
Yeah.
they,
Hmm.
so even though you didn't go to jail, they still hurt you.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, but plus, if you go to jail and they did all of this, it's
And then you got to
like
hire a
kind of what
lawyer.
happened. Yeah,
Hmm.
and
Right.
pay and yeah, somebody have to pay. Actually, we are thinking to go against the prosecute and the attorney that they didn't recognize the law and they was
Sure.
ignorant to the law that they cannot put people in jail just because of their lack of knowledge.
Ignorance
Right.
isn't
So
the defense of the
Yeah.
law,
yeah,
right?
yeah, for
You
sure.
Yeah.
you can't
That's
say
what they
I
tell
didn't.
us. Yeah.
Right. If that's what they tell us, it has to go for them too.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is not a kind of punishment or something. It's like to put the law forces and all the people involved aware that they
Yeah.
cannot still
Sure.
doing what they want or interpretate the law in their own way. The law
Yeah.
just have one interpretation
Yeah.
and needs exactly what it say. Cannot
Yeah.
be subjective.
Yeah.
Everybody need legally certainly, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
interesting, Gabby, your point of view and Sarakoya, like, hey, let's bring all these testimonies, people,
Yeah.
because they're gonna impulse the others. We can expand not just uh, sharing the good histories about that. It's like for even for science purpose, this is very important, like to be documented.
Yeah.
Can I, can I tell us another story?
Yeah, for sure.
So when we talk about the older generation learning to accept cannabis, one of like my regrets in life is that my mom never got to get to that point.
Ah,
So my mom died in 1995.
I'm so sorry.
And,
Yeah.
she grew up in Argentina. And like I said before, in Argentina, cannabis was just a drug,
Mm.
And even though she moved to the US in the late 60s, I think the whole 60s movement went right past her because she was an immigrant,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
so, but, and my mom was really health conscious. She was a
Nice.
nutritionist and a dietitian, and she just thought cannabis was super bad. To her it was just a drug.
Yeah.
And she was an intelligent woman. But
But
when you're intelligent, doesn't mean that you know everything and, can't be
Right?
ignorant on certain things, right? And so I just wish that my mom was around today for a number of reasons, of course, but just to like, I, w- I believe that she would be one of those people that would change her mind about cannabis, So
Yeah.
I
You
just,
know, for me, guys, knowledge is power. Is why they was hiding this all the time until now. That there's there's no way to hide the all the benefits, all the lies that they used to say. Now with science, it's been proven the opposite. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just about if somebody is smart. It's if they have the properly information. Or what about our college who are teaching the new the new
generation.
the new generations what they are putting in their minds? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just like you are somebody smart, you need to go further, like by yourself, because now in the college, it's what I did. uh, I went to study in Yale, but I didn't have the way, so I did it my way. And what I did is go further because I understood the knowledge is power. So I went so further, in the way that I have my own research. I don't stay just with the college gave to me, and I can feel super self confident because I'm not thinking just in the box that they offer me. I went more further, and I expanded. And it's what I recommend to the new generations. Like, not just stay with information that the typical traditional media or in the college they give it to you. You
Yeah.
need to go more further.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real knowledge. It's like
Mm-hmm.
The
like
ancestral
back to the
knowledge.
basics. Yeah, back to the
Mm-hmm.
basics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and start to
Yeah.
make questions.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Why?
for sure.
That's
It's
it.
funny that somebody was just telling me about, man, I wish I could remember it, but you know what? I got a little high during this podcast. But about something that, cannabis makes you question things. And that's one of the reasons why the government didn't want you doing it. And they found that,
Yeah.
man, I wish I could remember it, but I'm thinking about so many different things
Oh,
during this
I read
podcast.
I
I
read
Huh?
think that that
something.
same kind of thought process about psychedelics too. That
Yeah,
all of
Right.
them are like an amplifier, or a magnifier of you know
but the
things
thing
that
with the
you otherwise might
cannabis,
not be thinking about.
I guess the thing with the cannabis that makes separate to the other drugs is that the other drugs, I feel like, put you like more far away from your inner self, and with cannabis is totally the opposite. The
Mm,
cannabis connect to to yourself with your inner self, that it's
yeah, I hear
something
that.
that the structures they don't want that you
Mm,
have, because when you have that, you are powerful and you can change anything.
yeah.
So it's why for me it's all this stigma, because what I know is like they use even other drugs like LSD to mental control
Hmm.
or these
Yeah.
kind of things, guys, that we cannot talk
Yeah.
too much here. But with cannabis, they cannot control people.
We can talk about any history.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but,
Hmm.
and if they take it down, I'll put it back up. I'm not worried about it.
We
But
don't want that.
I have a few people that have been asking questions. One was a
Yeah.
buddy of mine who texted it to me, so I want to read it to him. He says, I have plenty of questions for Mrs. Stefani. He says, what's the
Sure.
possibility of legally growing weed on my property in Plantanillo, Punta Arenas, Costa Rica, near Dominical? Or if we could legally develop that property as medically approved. So,
Okay.
Mm.
First of all, thank you for the question. Thank you for the space, guys. Actually, yes. Any company that comply with all the requirements that the Minister of Agriculture requesting for having that license can have it, but it's not easy. It's nothing at all easy. It's complicated. Yeah, it's very nice that if you have already a property with all the qualities to grow it, but it's not enough. First of all, you need to have uh, like um, like an agreement with another company out of borders, like can purchase your product or
Somewhere to
giving your
sell it.
product.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Hmm.
is like kind of the part that is more difficult, and the others, the financial part. It's kind of complicated because you have to pass through the ICD, that is the institution who give the last approval, is the institute against the drugs, that they control all the drug um,
Hmm.
um, management and everything, and it's
Hmm.
like pass through the filter of the FBI, kind of. So yeah, if you are a clear person, if you have a company, if you have a property, but you need plus the knowledge, the legal structure, investment, and somebody that buy your product. So it's not just like the intention to have it. It's really difficult industry, and the most important here is the legal certainly for the patients, and what is the patient's need, the best product ever. And what we are trying to force the authorities is that they require these kind of standards like the GMPs for the patients. But at this moment, anybody that growing anyway here could be sell the product. But um, us, for example, we don't gonna accept to sell product of anybody that don't comply with the GMP standards, because we are who gonna give that to the patients. So we just gonna grow our product that will be GMP. If we gonna accept to sell product of other growers, they have to comply with the GMP standards, because we don't gonna expose the patients to having product that uh, is not good tested, for example.
Yeah.
It's not just
Yeah. Make sure no
making a business
pesticides
for
and
make a business. That is the issue with the some growers. A lot of them,
yeah.
I'm super aware that there's a lot of good talent here, but it's
Hmm.
not enough being a grower, or kind of knowledge as a grower. You need to understand that the most important thing here is the patients, and the patient need to have this international standard of the industry, because just because we are in Costa Rica, it's not fair that we don't give that kind of high quality product to the patients. So we are just focusing in this high quality standards product for the patients.
I wonder if people
Yeah.
will be, just like when California became legal, lots of people moved to California. When Michigan became legal, lots of people moved to Michigan. People have been
Hmm.
chasing the new state. Lots of people went back to New York State when New York State became legal, because that's obviously going to be one of the biggest markets. And I wonder how many people are going to be chasing paradise to try to have a cannabis business in Costa Rica because, like I said, I know I certainly would. If I saw a path
Right.
to make that
And
happen, that's what I would want to do.
and you know what, that it
And
gave
my
me a
friend,
kind
just to
of
say this, my friend who sent me that is a very experienced cultivator for 30 years that can certainly follow
very good,
GMP scale. And
very good,
he has a
very good.
property.
It's
He has a property, and he's got the knowledge. He doesn't have
Hmm.
the
very
legal
beautiful.
The
background, maybe.
license. Yeah.
I'm gonna have him
Actually,
contact you if that's okay.
that is the kind of people that we want in this industry. People with
Yeah.
good intentions that go by the law, and that bring all that experience to the industry that we need, but complying with the best high quality standards for the patients. It's our
Yeah.
main purpose. It's focusing 100% to the patients, not just in to make money. That's it.
Right. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to do that without experienced cultivators, you
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
know, because
Yeah.
like
Actually,
you can teach people quickly to do basic things, but not to be completely aware of the plant. I mean,
Right.
takes many years of growing
Mm-hmm.
plants till you learn how to grow cannabis properly. Because what happens
mhm.
is
Notice it,
issues do
you
not arise.
yeah.
Like when you first grow, even if you have some problems, you won't have all the problems that could possibly arise. So you only
Mm.
learn how to handle this stuff with experience, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm making a plug for American growers.
Mm.
So they're
Yeah,
invited
you
to come
just
to
control
Costa
the damage.
Rica.
And the other thing that is the most exhausted is the legal side. First of
Yeah.
all, like having properly advisor, that there's not too many in this area in Costa Rica, because it's not just to fulfill a formulary like for the government. Um, you need to know, like, in the way to dive in this in the institutions here, and there's a lot of compliance. So
Mm.
yeah, you need to have the properly legal advisor that comply with everything, um because if not, there is a very several
I have to take this call.
yeah, okay, you have you can have a
We're
big
still here.
you can have big problems. Yeah, we can have big problems, and nobody
Yeah.
wants. Just imagine, Sequoia, how difficult for us it's been, like 4 years, to
Wow.
having this
And you have a
company
law team
alive.
and stuff.
Who can,
Yeah.
yeah, who can, which company can survive for almost 4 years without making anything, just more than invest, because it's what it's the timeline that we have to deal in here in Costa Rica, since the law was established, since we can operate. It passed four
Wow.
years so
Yeah.
it's not just having a license for having a license. You need to comply with so many things and be
Right.
so perfect that it's
Yeah.
nothing at all easy.
Right.
It's very, very complicated. Yeah, and there
So,
is a different kind of license. If you want to grow, it's one license. If you want to import, it's another. If you want to
yeah.
make secondary products, it's another. The pharmacy is other. So there is a lot kind of different ecosystems that all of them are related in between.
Mm.
So I guess kind of the legal part as well of the business, it's
Right.
one of the hardest part to find out your properly legal
All right.
advisor.
Well, and then, so how hard are these financial hurdles? Like, would an average
Oh,
person be able to make the money to have a license, or you have to have like millions in backers, or a little bit, or, you
mm,
know?
no, no, you can have a little project. You don't need to have millions of investment. Even you can have a
Okay.
license for kind of little room. You can
Okay.
do it. Actually, I
Yeah.
guess in all my
And you just
experience
need
that
to know
in
that
the way
you,
that you make it little,
yeah.
it's easy. It's
Yeah.
easier. But in the way that you want to expand, you need to still fulfilling more and more requirements to the authority. It's not that,
I
oh, you
see.
did it one time and that's it. No, you need to comply all the time.
I see. So it's possible you could start small and work your way up
Yeah.
to have that
Yeah,
business
it's
model.
possible. For sure,
See,
it's
that's
possible.
great
There's
here.
just seven
That's great.
license for the moment.
Yeah. Huh.
Somebody
Yeah.
Yeah,
asked the
here we have
question.
a lot of financial burden to get into the industry, and then that prevents a lot of the craft growers that have like a really nice product and want to just, distribute on a kind of semi-local market to be able to be involved, because we can't come up with the money, and they charge a lot even to apply for a license, and then you never see even the deposit again. So it prevents a lot of people who have the talent and experience from being able to obtain a license, because they say, oh, you have to have such a high amount of money, or you can't participate.
Yeah, but no,
Um,
this is not the way that they make it. You don't
that's
need to
great.
have a certain amount of money. You if I have the feeling like, yeah, there is a lot of people that want to come in and comply, but they show up so big that it's difficult to, like, to prove to evidence. So maybe
Yeah.
if you want to apply, it's better if you go like little by little.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I mean, even for locals living there, you may have some real talented gems hiding there that come out now that you have open operations that you may discover.
Well, what you don't want
Yeah.
is you don't want it to only be run by big corporations that don't really care
Yeah.
about anything but the money. And that's what you said at the very
Right.
beginning, right? That you
Yeah.
want to have people that actually care about the plant. And look, we all want to make a living, right? But we, doing it ethically and properly, right? So,
Ethically. Yeah. What us really want, and because I speak not just as entrepreneurship, as a patient, um, I speak like from the association. We are defending the rights of the patients, but at the same time, we're gonna open in a short time the association for growers, or this kind of people that want to become part of the project, and they don't have the way, but we can support them like a cooperative. So it's how, in the way that it works in Costa Rica, we are the unique association in all the system as a license holder, that we can do this like a cooperative. So we can have associates that we
That's great.
can make like a internal ecosystem with them, to help them to grow. And in that way, it's not just for the big pharma, let's say, because it was our own um, concern since the beginning at the law, that maybe they wanted to make the law for the big pharmas. It's what we was fighting against since the beginning. So thank God it wasn't in that way. Um, all the license have the same price to pay. It costs the same for everybody. Uh, but in that way, I have the feeling they didn't make it like to monopolize the market for the big pharmas. They open it the way that, yeah, the people can uh, fulfill the expectations of the regulation, but it's not so easy. It's not so easy.
yeah. But nothing that's ever worth it is ever easy. If it wasn't work,
Uh,
Yeah, for sure, for
right.
so
sure.
so
Yeah, they're not going to give it to us. They're going to give it to big business. We have to um, band together as normal people to have access usually. So that's great that you have the potential for cooperatives, and you can bring in
Yeah.
other small growers. That's very
Actually,
cool. Yeah.
so
hmm hmm
Reba, grateful cultivator, she's supposed to be home resting, but she still has questions. She wants to know what standards or qualities are used to determine whether cannabis is considered high quality in Costa Rica.
Okay, in the regulation, they speak about all the time high quality standards, high quality standard, but they don't speak about which high quality standard. So we start to talk about the GMP standard, the good manufacturing uh, what? Okay, the CGMP. Sorry, I'm not expert in that. I had to be realistic. I'm not expert in that side. I just know
It's okay.
the standards. So the CGMP is what we want the government put as an standard, because now you can grow in the way that you want and they don't gonna tell you anything.
So
But at
next,
the end, when they gonna make the test to the product have to fulfill, like, at least it's clean and it's the same strain that you are saying that it is. Basic.
so Sorcery Flower asked the question: how many current medical patients are there exist in Costa Rica? And I want to add to that question before you answer it. You talked about Costa Rica being a place that has like medical cannabis tourism. So as a tourist, like,
Yeah.
do you need to go to a doctor there, or are you able to bring your current, like if you have a medical card here in the US, are you able to bring that to Costa
Very
Rica?
good
How does that work?
question. Very good. Very good question. Okay. First of all, um, any tourists all around the world that want to come to Costa Rica, since next month that we're gonna open the first pharmacy here, Cana Pura Vida, can access to our membership program that it open and allows our patients to access our clinic, that the clinic will give the service of the doctors for prescribe on site in the same place where they will can get the product in the pharmacy. So every all is going to be in the same place, and it's going to be in our membership program. um, we are working, and it's going to be in a little totally built in a digital ID sovereign program for cannabis holders. So all the patients very soon, in a little that are in our program, we are using digital sovereign identity that it's supplied by blockchain, where the people can identify themselves without showing the sensibly data information. So that is something that you can show to the authorities. You can show in our app the authorities your prescription. um, they can access and see that it's valid, that it's by your name, and all that um, identifications, things that they need to know. E- but at the other side, we want to work with other countries, like to kind to what is this word, like to convert, like to their own
Transfer.
their own yeah, like transfer, because
¿Me
what
puedes en
we
español si
need to know.
necesitas?
Okay. What we need to know, it's like that person that already have a card in the States, it's gonna have another one here. But this person need to come to our doctors because it's complying with the law that they need to have this prescription for a doctor from Costa Rica. But it's gonna be easier if we just can lock them in our system, connected with their their car in the States,
Well,
let's say.
think about this. Okay, you have 15 pharmacies, and even if they're well staffed, right? When a whole bunch of tourists arrive, how are they gonna like? They're gonna have to wait in a doctor's office all day or for days, waiting for an appointment because there's more tourists that are gonna come that wanna, buy cannabis than there's gonna be doctors available, like on the spot, right? Or they're gonna have to make an appointment before they
Actually,
leave, which they won't be ready. No one's gonna know that they're gonna need to make an appointment before they leave to see a doctor. So people will end up going to
mm,
Costa Rica thinking that they can go get some medical cannabis, but if it's not easy,
yeah, no, no, you are right, for sure. I have the feeling, and I want to know, and I want to know if that it's gonna be our main difficult, because for sure it's going to be more tourists that the pharmacy that we're going to have. So it's why we are thinking to put it in a very specific and good locations, like out of the main airports. For example, here in Costa Rica, in the Juan Santa Maria, like you go out and you have even we are trying to make arrangements to see if we can put the pharmacy in the airport. So the idea is like the people can log in now, even immediately, to canapuravida.com and write at us to be on the waiting list for having the membership ready when we open. So when we open, we're gonna have very soon an schedule appointment in the website, so the people can make immediately their appointment, even
So,
previously in advance to come into Costa Rica. Or in spot, they can go and always they can have a doctor ready for prescribe them. It's
so
not
they will need
necessary
a
just make
prescription
an
even if,
appointment.
because I wondered if you had a membership, like if you were selling like a club type membership where they would be a
Mhm.
member and then have access to cannabis, or, but you're saying they'll still have to see a doctor either way and then be part of the medical program of Costa Rica.
Yeah, anybody can go to a doctor that they know that prescribe, and they can have access. It's not just by our platform, but me speaking for our platform is the way to have it. Like uh, you can go by the spot in the moment and make your appointment in the moment. You don't need just schedule by the web page. You can do it in the instance that you are in the pharmacy, in the clinic. They're gonna receive you. But yes, for be part of our program, they need to be in the loyalty program, because we're gonna make an app, we're gonna make a newsletter, we're gonna give like like a special treatment to membership programs
Okay.
subscribers. So yeah, it's
Okay.
the way, is the way. But it's something like minimum compared to all the benefits that we're gonna bring them, like the best or the unique, let's say the unique doctors in town
Hmm.
that they know how to prescribe medicinal cannabis, because we are who are investing in prepare and teach these doctors with the one of the best doctors all around the world in this topic, that is the Dr. Dustin Sulak.
Huh.
I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the when Tom got arrested, and because I know Jesse was an expert witness, but he didn't tell me a lot about
Yeah,
what happened. Jesse is my
it was like
mentor,
that.
and I'm working with him at the Mothership Labs, and I know Jesse is also working with you guys. I'm not exactly sure of
Yeah.
all the details, but tell me what you can about what happened with Tom,
Okay.
and what the plan is with
Um,
Jesse.
hmm. It's funny when when you think about it in retrospective, because it happened like too many things in a little short time. Jesse and Jared was here in Costa Rica actually in the first trip, um, to see the two projects that we're gonna be working on. We was in Santa Teresa, moving to Pérez Celedón to the farm, in Santa, where is the base for the planting and manufacturing. So what it happened basically is like the police that illegally arrest Tom put false evidence, uh, like it was owned to Tom, and that false evidence it was some pills that owns to Jesse, and that in the tag of the pills it said his name, but yeah, but the police put like it was owned to Tom, And when I saw that in courts one day after, I was like, what? What is this? Why this bill? What had to be related with Ton? And then I realized that the police, because I was hearing during the detention when they was in the police station, that they was like the boss police complained with the others having an argue because they didn't know who owns that bills. And I say, what about these bills? Until I saw the like the document that they like the ticket that they bring to the judicial court system, and they say that Tom had that pills that owned to Jesse, and Jesse had his prescription, his voucher, everything perfect. So for them, that was part of like kind of um, argument to say like he was trafficking because he have plus that pills. So it was like unbelievable for me because I didn't
It's a
expect that
setup.
because
Yeah.
I was there all the time and nothing was wrong with that with those pills. Um, and then they come in with this like, oh, for sure, if they present this evidence all
Mhm.
together to the prosecute, how it's gonna look. But
Right.
at the end, the prosecute understood that I say, hey, look the app, the Jesse's app on live, and I will bring you the evidence printed that these medicines, these pills, it owns to him. I don't know why the police did this, but I hear them arguing between them because
Mhm.
they don't know who own it, and they say, okay, let's put it to Tom, that is the person that already have the problem,
Wow.
to make it look worse. So Jesse had to come to the to the court hearing to witness it, to explain them first how everything happened, then why he came here as a scientist to work in our projects, and then to recognize that he owns these pills, that there is nothing wrong with them. It's just that the police took it again illegally and put again illegally evidence in other person behalf. So just with this, the trial, all everything, the like
Wow.
the the court case falls because it's a break in the evidence
Right.
protocols, like they have to follow through. So we show we show up this to the prosecute, and thank God they understood, and they
Yeah.
dismissed that part that owns to Jesse. But
Wow.
in order to take care of that, to the accusation against Tom, Jesse have
Wow.
to come as a expert witness, talking about even the like the components of that medicines, and
Wow.
the science part of his job in this business, and like literally explain the judges how it works,
Wow.
the science part of the plan, because it was super funny. The judge said kind of weird things and mix like, oh, that plan have like a part that it's illegal, and the other part of the plans, the component is not illegal, but like making confusing affirmations,
Mhm.
like kind of things. So Jesse was like explaining to him like that part, because
Mhm.
they didn't knew anything about how to apply the law.
Wow.
And so yeah, thank to him we can help Tom to clarify everything. And I told the
That's
judge,
great.
you have to receive him now because he goes tomorrow. He leave the country tomorrow, and I don't know when he will coming back. So
Wow.
thank God they accept
Yeah.
his witness. And and he said he helped us, and he helped the movement. They was
Yeah.
recording all the time because it was so unfair, everything what they did it. And we want to make this awareness, that it will be worth it.
Yeah. How
So
long did they keep him? How long was he in
Almost 24
custody?
hours.
Okay.
like
Wow.
like almost
Wow.
24 hours, yeah.
Wow.
so a couple of questions that I
Yeah.
have a couple of questions that I have regarding this is, not everybody has Stephanie Sanchez representing them when
Right.
they get busted for weed. So, like,
Hmm.
what happens when the average, Costa Rican, gets put in this situation? I mean, like, and they don't have the expert witness of Jesse that they can call
Hmm.
in at any time to, hey, Jesse, we need you to fly into Costa Rica.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
happens then?
Okay.
And well,
Actually, I was
one more part before you answer. And is the government, and I don't know, want to know how much I'm going to put you on the spot here, but like it sounds like in this case, the government was quite fair and justice was served. Is that something that you can count on, or
Huh.
is it like you guys also got really lucky with the right judge, or
Yeah.
Oh
is that
no,
an
it's
inappropriate question?
super bizarre. No, no, super. I'm super open. It's super bizarre because we couldn't believe it that that was happening
Yeah.
to us, but at the same time, we are being so blessed that it happened to us. But at the same time, we know that it's happening to too many peoples. So I would like guys to share the trial, like all the court hearing with everybody, so everybody can have like a clue. It's not that
Yeah.
it was perfect, but it's like the way to how properly prove, the not just the judge, the prosecute, how it works now the law in the behalf of the patient. If the patient can prove an antecedents or evidence that they have been
Hmm.
dealing with some ill, and that they have um, um, a document from a doctor saying that they need cannabis or they recommend use cannabis, it's what
Hmm.
they needed. And the most of the ¿cómo se llama? Public defensors here in Costa Rica, all the
Hmm.
people that are being busted for this, all of them have free representation from the state with attorneys. I know many of them are very good, but not all of them. So what I
Yeah.
suggest you recommend you, it's like it's something that I really want to do it, like, but because I became attorney, because I feel like I have to help others. uh,
Hmm.
I have like this genuine passion for my profession, like to help others. And I swear you, I would love to help so many people around. And actually, I have been receiving questions about that, how I can help these other cases, and I want to have like the time and another
Hmm.
Stephanies to to help all these people to apply the due process, because the due process is just proof that they are not trafficking, that they are auto
Hmm.
consumers. So if they can prove that they are auto consumers, that they have antecedents of some ills, and they have been recommended for a doctor to consume cannabis, that can be enough for defend themselves. I'm
Something you
trying
might
to
want to
help
do.
in,
Something you might
yeah, I'm
want to
trying to
do.
help in so many people that I can, but it's been impossible. So it's why we want to open a channel for people that want to be supporter or help.
Hmm.
Opening email for consult, so the people can come and make
Cool.
their questions. We're gonna open this channel to help them and try to respond the most many that we can. Uh, but it's what
That's
we can
great.
do for the moment. And
Yeah.
and
Well, and
I'm
every
been
case that you
talking with,
win also helps their case in the future, right?
yeah,
Every
for
time.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And even for me, like you said before, Sequoia, even that we are not talking about um like medicinal cannabis, because all cannabis is medicinal.
Yeah. I believe
But
so.
here it's like, oh, if actually what one of the things that the judge said in this case is, if you have the prescription, you are protected. If you don't have,
Yeah.
don't coming around saying that you are patients because you have the way to prove it and you didn't. It's
I
like
see.
kind of what she
Yeah.
said.
Okay.
So it's like, if you want to be protected, have your prescription.
Yeah.
And I explained to her, hey, look, we are dealing with this situation with the with the with the doctors association, because
Mm-hmm.
so one prescription of this, they are charging between 300, 350, or sometimes $500 each time, and
Wow.
they have to do it every 3 months.
Oh my
The
gosh.
normal doctors is what they charge, plus
Wow.
the plant, plus the medicine. So can
Right?
you believe it? So
No,
it's
that's so
why
much
we are,
money.
yeah, it's so much money. So we explained this to the judge, and she understood,
Mm-hmm.
but she said, like literally, I don't care how much costs. If you want to be protected by the law, bring
Wow.
your prescription.
Yeah.
So it's why it's important, or the people understand like the benefits to be our a part of our membership program, because we are
Mm-hmm.
preparing properly the doctors, and at the same time we are advising them as in the legal side, and we are helping them in all these areas that nobody else is doing here in Costa Rica. So
That's great.
uh,
Yeah.
for everybody that want to have any advice or help, we're gonna open this email that they can write to us, and even for the membership program to start the the waiting list is dot uh, info at canapuravida.com.
Great. Yeah, we'll be sure
Info
to put that
info
in the
dot
chat.
one more time.
Canna
Info dot canapura
per Pure Vita.
sorry
Yeah.
info at canapuravida.com. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That I'm sure that's a resource that people need there and get
Yeah.
trying to
and
work
and
through the
and
new system.
part of my purpose in life is help so many that I can. And usually during the year I do pro bono stuff. So if there
Hmm.
is people that they have like emergency or a big like something difficult that they cannot pay for, we're gonna be reading and try to help kind of people that they deserve it because they don't have the resources maybe.
That's great. Yeah,
One thing
that's
that I
great.
wanted
Yeah.
to say before is, and I don't know if it's the right thing or not, but you could make videos saying, "Hey, look, if this ever happens to you, these are the things to consider." Like you
Yeah.
were mentioning before, and because on
Hmm.
top of everything, what I find is you're gonna keep repeating yourself over and over again anyway, right? You're always gonna be telling these people
Yeah,
the same
it's
thing.
my
So
fear.
With
even if you're
different
talking to
people.
someone,
They
you
Yeah.
could say,
traumatize myself even.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a lot of trauma after that detention, I have to tell you and
Yeah,
be
I
super
bet.
and you
I
honest.
you
bet.
didn't you didn't even
I'm
get locked up,
freaking
and
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's not me. It's and it was super stressful. because it's like
Sure.
I never saw in first situation in front of my eyes, and me being a person that working with the law, watching how
Mm-hmm.
the force polices coming to apply a wrong law, and even that suppose that they have to know they don't know. So yeah, it
Yeah.
makes me have a lot of trauma after that, because I in the shoes of the others, because so
Yeah.
many people now is writing to me and telling me their horror histories that they have been passing through, even with the public defenders. I've been in communication with some of them, and they are
Mm-hmm.
telling me this is something that we have been denouncing for long time, and
Wow.
nobody is doing anything in the Poder Judicial. And can you believe all the resources that they are wasting in all these cases,
Right.
that at the end is a big, massive dismissings, just because they don't understand how apply the law and recognize who is auto consumer or patients, and who are the real drug trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Something else that I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned that you used to, did you say professional basketball player?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the United States, like the NBA, that was like the one professional sports team where they didn't
Yeah.
test for cannabis because
Yeah, I love it.
all the basketball players
All
would fail.
them.
They all smoke.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
man.
So,
But you see their high performance and you can't
Mm-hmm.
believe it.
yeah, it's funny.
And
I
and
can believe
now
it.
I saw like couple days ago that I don't know which stadium, but there is an one stadium at the NBA that they are introduced CBD in the beverage there, that they can
Oh yeah.
consume in the stadium. Yeah, and
Wow.
I'm
That's
like,
great.
oh my gosh, this is not,
Yeah.
yeah, the taste.
That's
And
progress.
yeah, it's why, yeah, and it's why you are like, why these athletes are so amazing.
Artistic,
But never,
right?
yeah, never ever was, nobody ever was thinking like this could be related. They was like just
Yeah.
in their own.
Right. Yeah. What's that? That
Yeah,
stigma. Yeah.
still a lot of
Wow.
stigma.
Do you have anything that you want to add before we go? Do you have any more questions, Sarah Koya?
Mm,
Um. I mean, I think that
Oh, somebody else
Stephanie's
wants to
doing
know what you're
so many
smoking.
cool things down there. Yeah.
Somebody wants to
Oh.
know what Stephanie's smoking and what her favorite
oh.
cannabis is. They were asking earlier, and I was like, we're
um,
talking about too much important stuff to ask her what she's smoking right now. But I'll ask before we go.
um, I'm
Okay, I won't put you on the
Es
spot.
crescendo. Es crescendo. Yeah, yeah,
Crescendo?
it's crescendo, crescendo. Yeah, and it's good performing. Yeah, super creative stuff. Actually,
Mm,
Jesse and Jared are working in kind of breeding. Just imagine this kind of crazy things. They are start to pattern. These flowers that works in different ways. Like if you want to lose weight, you smoke this flower.
mm,
And with this kind of ills, they are working. So they are pattern like more than 2,000 different strains for all these kind of varieties of situations like that you need to deal with. So
mm.
it's amazing. We are focusing in that kind of more holistic way to help, but very personalized for everybody. Personalized for everybody.
Well, that's
Oh,
exciting. Like I said, Jesse
Yeah,
is my mentor and partner, and
they are impressive.
yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
I'm just glad he was there to get Tom out of jail, or to help get Tom out of
yeah,
jail.
wow. Mm-hmm.
Thank
That's
God.
insane.
Thank God it was
Mm,
like a movie.
The
I
trip
feel
wouldn't have
like
been the same
that
for
thing
him
that
if he
happened
didn't
in
have that
one day.
experience.
yeah, like all that happening in one day. I feel like it happened like in 1 month or whole
Right.
year. It was so many
Wow.
things happening that day. Like I can imagine. I can imagine, and it's crazy because we have to pass the night in Esparza, and like in a place where there is not too many places where to stay safe. So it was kind
Oh,
of crazy because I was
yeah.
like, where I can stay and where I can put the guys to be comfortable, but there is not too many options, and we have to coming back. It was like 1 a.m. at that time, and we had to
Wow.
coming back to court at 7 a.m. and I have to prepare the case between 1 a.m. and 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so I have to say something. So
yeah.
Jesse was an expert witness, but the picture that he sent me, he looks like he was a bum off the street or something because he was so tired.
Oh, poor
Right? He
him.
had,
Show me.
huh?
What is the what
Well,
is the picture?
you know,
Hold
Yeah.
on, it was a video. He just looked really tired, because like
Oh,
apparently it was a dramatic night, like
but
you said. It
hmm
was 1 o'clock in the morning, and you
yeah,
had
it
to
was
be at
super
court at
traumatic.
7, and so I don't think he got much
Yeah.
sleep that night.
So do you saw him like in the court as
He
the
sent a
witness? Are
video.
you talking that moment?
He sent a video.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah,
You just
wow.
imagine sitting in front of the judge, like without nothing, no
Yeah.
sleep, no food, nothing, like on spot without your
Huh.
medicines. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All
Wow.
of us, we was super exhausted.
Yeah.
It was very hard situation to dealing with, and thank God that Tom have what he was the vessel, but he have all this strain that he could manage so well. But I was super worried because can you imagine if it was somebody different that don't have that strongness and have a
Right.
heart condition or something. And it's something that we raised the
Wow.
voice even to the judge and to the prosecutor. The prosecutor was like kind of like shocking because she was realizing in that moment what they did it, and she was super embarrassed. She was super embarrassed, and she tried to help, uh, but the damage it was made because of the
Mm.
lack of knowledge. So
I
yeah,
mean,
it
Yeah.
to
was
me, it
really
still
interesting
sounds
now that you see in
positive.
retrospective.
It sounds positive still, though, because
Yeah. No, they do. It's definitely
the
one.
police are always going to make these mistakes and always do that. It's just, I mean, it's unfortunate, but as long as then the justice system works after that, you know.
Be
So, I
exposed.
mean, right. I mean,
Hmm
as long as, yeah,
I
Yeah.
record
Yeah.
everything
Winning that case
since
is
the police.
critical for cases in the future, you know? So it's great that you could
Yeah,
keep
and
that
something else
strength
that I
and do it.
recommend the people.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
else that I recommend the people record everything since the first moment, because that is the
Yeah.
evidence that will show that if the police are doing something wrong, they will be exposed. But
Yeah.
what I hear is there is kind of abuse here, and you have the right as a citizen or anybody, if they are if they are in their working, you can record them because they are public
Um,
functionaries,
hmm
and they have to respond for their actuations, and if it's legal, more.
That's great. Yeah.
like I said, it,
Yeah.
earlier you called Costa Rica a third world country, but it sounds like at least at least the prosecutors are pissed when that stuff happens too, and then the judges throw it out.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Eventually,
That's great.
They don't like it.
hopefully, the police will learn. But I mean, it's still
hmm
the system working. That's
Hmm.
why the police aren't the judge and the jury as well.
Right.
So
Yeah, actually, we are asking now to commitment and have some meetings with these ministers that are involved, that is the Minister of Security and
That's
somebody in
great.
the Poder Judicial, because they are the part of the change that they didn't receive the message from the executive power, that it was the Minister of Health and the presidents of the Republic, that they create this regulation, but they didn't receive the message that they was
Yeah.
applying like since 4 years ago. So they
Wow.
didn't make this refresh to their protocols. So it's what they need to do it. And we are open to teach them. We went Monday to this is funny. The channel of the government invite us to having like for almost 1 hour a conversation about this the same exercise that we are doing. They did it with us. They invite the some institutions involved like the ICD and the YAFA. That is well, mostly they are against the drugs, but as
Mm,
we know, their mentality is like attack, attack, attack this topic. But for us, it's not promoting the plan; it's promoting health. So it was funny because it's the channel of the government, and they exposed the situation, and
mm,
we told them that our main purpose is not just like expose this. It's like to find a way to give this legal certainty to all the patients and the people involved in the industry, because it's not fair that all the parties we are working so seriously in these projects to
hmm.
being treated in this way.
Right. Yeah, they need to get in place some new protocol, huh? So 4 years is a
Mhm.
long time.
Yeah, so we open the door. Yeah, so we open the door to help them in any ways we can make this conference to put them in notice about the changes. That, for example, the maximum quantity that the people protected in this regulation as a patient in the medicinal cannabis industry is 150 grams of dry flower in public spaces.
I see.
So what it means, like that is like 5 ounces, I guess. That is so much product. And can you believe a police watching 500, 4 or 5 ounces, like all in a same spot? And I explained to the judge and to the prosecutor, just imagine for make the preparation of the Rick Simpson oil, you need that amount at least
Hmm.
for make the full treatment for 3 months. You need at least
Right.
that amount, and it's the quantity the maximum quantity of product that the patient can carry, so
Hmm.
can prepare that oil that can save anybody's life,
Right.
but have to be for the patients for sure. And it's what we are doing in our pharmacy. We are making magistral preparations. And what it means that we, with the raw flour, we are preparing the product ready
Oh,
to go, and that people can make their own preparations based on the prescription the doctor made.
let's see.
That's awesome.
So thank God, at least in this trial, the prosecutor and the judge understood that why the law give the opportunity to the patient and protect the patient to have that maximum uh, quantity of
Hmm.
product in public areas. It's not that I gonna expose all of this. It's like, hey, let's say I come in from the pharmacy to my house, and it's my product for all the month, or
Right.
it's
Right.
super concentrate preparations.
You don't
That
want to
is the
make
kind of
Rick
things that
Simpson
they
oil
need to
every day.
understand.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So it's the way that the authorities need to understand these little details. that are important in these little details at putting people in jail. It's not just Tom. I know that there is too many people's been put in jail unfair illegally because they don't understand the law.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, I really, I'm just overwhelmed with thinking about how much cannabis is going to be grown in Costa Rica in the coming years, and how do you think that recreational will become a thing eventually, or do you think it's going to stay medical for a while?
Very soon,
Yeah.
very soon, because the current president, one of the first project that he launched when he became president, it was a legalization, yeah, open
Mm,
to recreational, but the Congress of this moment, they didn't accept it because the
mm,
majority are the left side,
Right.
and they don't want that because it comes from the president, and he's from like more for the right side. So they didn't approve it, but now, thank God, we have a new president in the
mm.
same with the same vision of the president. So it's like the continuous of the government, and now we have majority in the Congress with the same party.
Great.
So one of the things that I know that they're gonna push, it's gonna open the market and legalize for a recreational
Recreational.
purpose as well very soon.
Because when they do, then all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's not a problem when people fly in, right?
Right.
You know, the same thing was like with
Yep.
Las
Yep.
Vegas. Okay, Las Vegas, they first, I
Yeah,
believe, they
it's
went
crazy.
medical, but once they went recreational, now anyone can go to Las Vegas and they can
Hmm.
go get their herb like they can get whatever else they want over there. You know, so having to
Yeah.
stop at a doctor's just becomes like a lot of people just wouldn't be prepared. You know, and then, some guy tells his
Yeah.
wife that, hey, I've got to sit around and wait a couple of hours to get my prescription. She's not going to like that,
No,
so.
no. But it's kind of part of our culture. I feel the people here is so pura vida, not just because they are pura vida.
Oh,
Most
to
of
just
them they
wait?
are in yeah, always. Oh, it's so many people here around, but the most of them they are hiding because like I don't know, they still in the closet.
Do you have anything you want to close with, Sarah Koya?
Well, I'm really excited to meet you today and to learn more about what's going on in South America, and I wish you all the success. I hope everybody goes.
Central
And
America.
yeah, Central America. Yeah, that's it.
I,
It's the
uh,
bridge, huh, between the two. But
I wish I was more comfortable doing a podcast in Spanish because I would like to do that. Maybe I wouldn't do it live.
huh,
Did we lose her?
I don't know. I don't know. We might have lost her. I was thinking maybe it
Well,
was me not being able to see her screen again,
Well, I
and
was
then I
just saying
lost her.
how I would like to do, I want to have a podcast in German. I want to have a podcast in Spanish. I did use AI to like translate some stuff, which it actually
Oh
worked
wow,
out pretty good, but it's
huh?
expensive. Like every episode would cost a few $100s.
There you are.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Yay!
guys. No one
it's
Wow.
okay.
has. I don't
I
know.
was saying how I wish I was
Yeah.
confident enough to do a podcast with you, I like in Spanish, because I'd like to do stuff in Spanish, but we wouldn't be able to do it live.
Mm.
My Spanish isn't as good as your English.
Oh,
I understand everything, but I would
Yeah.
be losing the words a lot more often than you did.
I need to
Yeah,
improve
you
my
did really
English. I
great.
think that'd be around to time I feel more and more confident with the time.
Well, like I
Yeah.
said, I want to try to do something in Spanish, but we'll pre-record it. We won't do it live. That way we can edit me
Yeah, let's do
stumbling over
it.
my tongue.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure
know
you're
that
looking
my
forward.
nickname,
Huh? What's your nickname?
sorry, my nickname in the the crypto world is Miss Crypto Lawyer. So you
Oh,
can
okay.
find me in YouTube as a
Oh,
Miss Crypto Lawyer, and we can make it some collaborates as a Miss Crypto Lawyer in YouTube or any other social medias. You can find me like that.
That's great. Yeah, I look forward to seeing the update for the opening of your shops there and how it's going. Um, I, it's just fantastic that you're able to plug in and communicate with your government and be involved in the political spectrum, because that's the other thing that it really takes to push this forward in communities is people understanding the law and also having the confidence to stand up to law enforcement and say, hey, no, this is the law, and to take that time and energy towards community and teaching people about the law is not a human trait that all people carry, and it's valuable. So I appreciate that about you, and I appreciate you taking the time that you spent with us today. So
Thank you, guys.
do you
you
have a
are a
do you have a
wow woman
YouTube
of,
channel as well? Oh, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Steph,
Yeah, I put
do
it
you
there.
do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have it. But
Uh,
I have it, but most focusing in the crypto world, in blockchain and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
I don't know, as you told me, I have to maybe open my social medias in focus just in this area. I don't know. I usually, because I'm gonna tell you fast my nickname. I'm come from the beauty pageant side. So I used to be a beauty queen. So it's why
Wow.
I'm Miss. And then I was a lawyer, attorney, and then became crypto attorney. So it's why I'm Miss Crypto Lawyer. But then I realized that at the same time I was opening this industry here in Costa Rica, and I need like to include this other. So I don't know if I have to separate both or maybe include it,
Hmm.
because it sounds kind of sexy, crypto and cannabis, but maybe sounds like gun and
You
cannabis.
know,
I
just
don't
in case,
know.
I would really quickly see if at Miss Weed
Yeah.
Lawyer is available and grab that.
That'd be
Okay.
pretty good.
Um,
Well, is there a social for
Would be
the
awesome.
Canna Pure Vita group that you have got there, that people could
Mhm.
contact you guys when they want to get their prescription or when they come visit Costa Rica?
For that is info. Arroba, sorry. I always forgot how to say arroba.
I remember
uh,
info,
it's the info.
at
It's the at
at
Canna
info
Pure
at, sorry,
Vita.
info at canapuravida.com. Yeah.
Pura
There is
Vida.
the
Pura
email
Vida.
where they can contact us for legal purposes, for be in the membership plan for access to all our services.
That's great.
Yeah. Thank you, Gabby.
That's great.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah. All
Alrighty, and tell
right.
Tom that we
Thank you
have to
so
book
much,
a
guys.
podcast with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Tom
look
coming to
forward
say
to seeing
Tell him not to
goodbye.
get too close to the camera. It's gonna
Gabby and
break.
Gabby
Yeah.
and Tom's
Oh,
podcast.
what did Jesse
We look
and Jared
forward to
say?
that.
Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Oh,
like Tom went to
there he is.
strike hungry,
On a
and
hunger
when
Oh,
he was
strike.
in
wow.
jail, guys,
Wow.
and
So you
hunger
better
strike.
get some food.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
yeah. But
Oh,
thank God everything finished in the best way. Like it's why
Yeah.
we are connecting here. If we didn't have this experience, we couldn't help more people, I guess, because now
Right.
we are aware that there's a lack of knowledge in these institutions, and we
Right.
just want to be like that bridge that connect them.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
well, I think that's a great way to
Very
end it.
needed. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you,
You can find
guys.
me at
Thank you,
Gabby.
everybody.
Thank you, Gabby.
Thank you. You guys can.
Gabby, thank you, guys.
Alrighty.
See
Bye
you
now.
soon, and I wish you the best.